Now that's smart saving.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you on a Tuesday morning. Johnny's in studio.
Good morning.
Hyundai of Yuma. They advertisers on the show. Get over there on 32nd Street. Pay them a visit. Take a look at the new cars. And the new cars are a little thinner than they've been, as everybody struggles with the chip, but they're doing well. They actually have a lot of models out there, including the new truck. Get by and take a look at that while you can. It's the hottest selling vehicle in the nation. So if they've got one, it ain't staying long. Average of 8 days from time the dealer gets it till it's signed and gone. So that's kind of exciting when you get the fastest selling, right, Johnny? Fastest selling truck. If you're selling trucks, you want to have the fastest selling truck.
Yeah,
that's what you want. That's what you want to have.
Yeah, that sounds like good business.
I don't think they're going to outpace Ford trucks this year, but it's nice to have them as the fastest selling when they first come out. But America's best warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles, 10 years, 100,000 miles. You tell them we sent you. That'd be good. You see the Kamala Harris thing?
What thing?
Well, where she did a NASA video for public relations and things to promote NASA. So she did a little.
Yeah,
She
with
did a little
the kids.
Yeah, a little impromptu thing, which was. I was listening to it and I was like, she's not saying anything. It's like
nothing at all, and she's a horrible actor.
Oh, horrible. Well, and you use acting for a reason, because this was supposed to be one of those off the cuff impromptu things where I'm just talking to kids.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
I like that. I like how you put that.
So it was terrible. She just starts talking about, well, you're just gonna love it. You're gonna love it. The moon. So I love the craters and the moon.
And you'll be able to see the craters on the moon.
Wait till you see the craters. You won't believe it.
With your own eyes.
And I was like, what is she saying?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the weirdest thing. Like, nobody talks like that.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I thought, well, she's just strange. And then, and it was getting a lot of attention. A lot of people were panning it as like, really? That's what she goes. It's like she did no research going in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you have read a pamphlet?
Yeah, something.
So anything.
It's like you're kind of in charge of NASA and all this. Go over there and get a little
something more intelligent. Say, just wait till you see the craters.
Yeah.
Maybe like a point of interest, like how many times we've been to the moon or something.
Yeah, right. Something educational.
Something NASA.
Yeah. Did you know that the first time, something like that?
Neil Armstrong or something. Anything. Just something other than, wow, wait till you see the craters.
Yeah.
But then you find out, Johnny.
What'd you find out? I didn't find out anything about it.
Well,
no, I'm in suspense.
Well, I got to take a phone call. Then I'm going to tell you. Okay. Let me take a phone call first. You're on the air.
Yeah, Russ, when you're talking about the moon and NASA, I have to admit, I became aware of some of my own limitations when I was talking to somebody that I highly regard, who is very intelligent, and he tried to convince me that we'd never been to the moon.
Awesome. I love those people.
I mean, and I ran into cognitive dissonance, because it was, this guy is really smart.
Yeah.
But he's telling me this really stupid stuff.
But he was
not stupid. Well, he has this other point of view that I just don't believe at all.
But it's a great conspiracy theory, but you would have to have tens of thousands of people that keep their mouth shut and go along with it.
Well,
that's not that hard.
But that's not exactly what he, what he was, his counter, if you wanted.
I would. Yeah, I'm always interested.
But his counter would be, well, they haven't kept it. All kinds of them have spoken out and said that we never went there.
No insider whistleblower has.
Well, he claims that astronauts have said so, and he claims that one of his counters, this was amazing, was he said, well, some people tried to get, and I'm trying to think who the astronaut was. Aldrin, I think, maybe Aldrin. I'm not sure. He said, tried to get him to swear on a Bible that he'd been to the moon, and he punched the guy out.
Well, I would have done the same.
And I'm going, well, you just somebody who's saying you didn't do the most important achievement of your life, it might get you upset.
Look, they're tracking these people going. They're watching it with telescopes from Earth as these things hit off towards the moon.
Well,
It's
and
kind of hard to
if
hide
you
all
have
that.
if you have a reasonably powerful telescope today,
Yeah.
to get one, you can look at the lunar landing sites and see evidence that there was something there.
Well, actually, they just
And if you
flew.
look at
They just flew up there and set them up as props.
yeah, see, that's what I countered later on. But what struck me is I started getting emotional about it because I just couldn't believe this guy, and it was the wrong thing to do. And I looked back and I said, I don't usually do that. So anyway, that's all an aside. Because you mentioned the moon and that some people don't believe, but and I found I had the same thing I just mentioned. Some genius friends of mine in Australia. Some of them believed that too. So
maybe so when Australia goes, they could say we're the first.
Being real smart doesn't mean you don't believe in conspiracy theories sometimes.
Oh, true. And I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Usually, no, I'm not tied into him. But anymore, I feel stupid because of some of the stuff that's been going on with the FBI and the NSA and the FISA warrants. Because I wasn't buying into the conspiracy, and all of a sudden, holy crap! This stuff is going on in front of us.
And I grew up in the John Birch Society was a pretty strong presence, and everybody poo-pooed them. Oh, yeah, this is conspiracy theory. They don't make any sense with it. But a whole lot of what they said now seems to be happening.
So
anyway,
there is some.
That's not why I called in.
Okay.
Why'd you call in?
Okay. I called in to give a Second Amendment update.
Go ahead.
Because there is a case that has been decided in D.C., the District of Columbia, by a rather famous judge. I think it's Royce Lambert. I think he's in his 80s now. And what happened is that a number of people sued the District of Columbia for violating their rights under the Second Amendment.
Good.
They sued back in 2015. And this has been going on. They had 10 counts originally. Judge Lambert threw out 7 of the counts in 2019. Well, at the end of September this year, there were still 3 counts, numbers 1, 3, and 6. And he granted summary judgment to the plaintiffs for counts 1 and 3, which was under the Second Amendment and under the Fifth Amendment, and granted summary judgment for the defendants, which would be the District of Columbia, under the count 6. I think he was wrong. I think count 6 should have went to the defendants too. But the big point is, on 2 counts, he just said flat out, there's no way any jury could dispute that the District of Columbia violated these people's rights, and they're due some kind of settlement or
and would that settlement
reparation.
I would assume that settlement would also include the opportunity to carry a concealed weapon or whatever they're looking for, or own a firearm.
What happened is after the lawsuit was filed, the district changed their laws.
Right, but they won't.
They had to.
They changed the laws, but then they didn't issue permits.
Well, there was that, but that's what there was a decision in. Let's see, what was it? Was it 2019 or 2017? The Wren decision, where it was decided only. Just July of this year. It says July 25, 2021. That doesn't seem right. I think it was earlier than that. I think I better check that date. But anyway, under the Wren decision, they were forced to start issuing shall issue permits.
Right. But I don't think they've really done it. They've turned down more than they've done.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. Now they're in a kind of a Hobson's choice here, the district, because they don't want to have to pay. Probably there's about 4,500 people that are probably affected. This was a class action lawsuit. And if 4,500 people each demand, $100,000 in reparations or settlement or whatever, punishment, and these people were locked up. I mean, there's a lot of damages here.
Yeah, good.
potential damages. So that's a lot of money. Of course, it's not the people who are administering the district's money. They would probably just ask President Biden for it, and he'd give it to him, I suppose. But
he's been giving money away like crazy.
But,
Heck, if you're an illegal alien, you get more than that. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, so maybe the money isn't a consideration in effect. But if they appeal the decision, then they have a chance of it becoming binding precedent.
Oh.
So
really?
Right now,
okay.
Right now, it's just a settlement in a lawsuit.
Okay.
Or a decision in a lawsuit, and it applies to about 4,500 people.
But if it goes to if it goes to appeals court, you're saying it becomes something more powerful.
It would yes.
Oh, didn't know.
It would. Well, and the precedent that I believe it would establish is that if you knowingly violate Second Amendment rights, you can be sued for damages.
That would be very nice. I'll ask George about it. He's going to call in a little bit anyway, our lawyer out of D.C.
Yeah. And this is a fairly recent decision, Judge Lambert. So it's, like I said, the district is in kind of a Hobson's choice. Either they pay
or pay more,
or they appeal.
Yeah, which is really.
And if they appeal, they're very likely to get an outcome they don't want.
And it's going to hurt their overall cause nationwide, not just at a.
Well, no, the first appeal, I mean, it might.
Yeah.
The first appeal would be to the appeals court for the District of Columbia.
Right.
Which is a separate appeals court from the rest of the appeals courts around the nation. And it just covers the district. So I don't know if that appeal would apply nationally. It might, but I don't think so, because in the Wren decision, they specifically chose not to appeal that decision where they had to shall issue permits.
Okay.
And they didn't appeal it because they were afraid they'd lose.
I know it's going to take time, but I can't wait to see how this one pans out. I really like to see that.
I thought you'd find it interesting.
I do. Hey, I appreciate it. I got to run.
And I believe we went to the moon.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye-bye.
I need more proof.
I need Harris to say so. But getting back to the Harris thing,
okay.
It was a horrible video. If you haven't seen it, just look at it. It's just she's laughing again, a little bit cackling, but she's talking to her kids. But she's obviously the kids she's surrounded by are more intelligent than she is.
Yes, that's obvious.
Well, and I thought it would look terrible, and then I find out.
What'd you find out?
It was staged. It was a production crew out of Canada. They didn't even hire a real production crew like a U.S. one. They went to a foreign country, Canada, brought in a production crew, and they weren't kids.
What?
They weren't kids. They were actors.
They were all actors?
They brought actors in, had them interview for the job. They had to try out. They had to try out to see if they could look with a straight face at Kamala.
And not laugh about it. Not break out in laughter about how horrible this is.
Like, oh my God, you're kidding? You're the vice president?
Yeah, like, well, it had to be Canada too, because if it was kids from the U.S., like, oh my God, we're doomed.
We're doomed. Yeah, what are we doing here? You know what the name of the production, the video production crew was?
What?
Sinking Ship Entertainment.
Shut up.
That is just too good.
That is just, what is this?
That's too good, right?
That's like foreshadowing. That's like
that's gratuitous.
Yeah,
it's just awesome.
That's
it doesn't have anything to do with the whole failure. It's a great name.
No, it's like,
but they actually hired child actors and flew them in to set there for what was good. It was a fake deal, and Kamala acted worse than ever. I guess when she knew she was acting, she was horrible, more horrible than normal.
I knew she was acting. At least I thought the kids were real, but you could tell she was acting because it was so horrible.
They're not real kids.
It was hammy. It was cheesy. It was like over, like, wow.
They probably had overbearing stage moms right there.
Oh, wow. What world do we live in?
They flew them in to interview, and then they tried to pass it off as a, it's a series called Get Curious with Vice President Harris. And it's a YouTube original series. It's a series of Get Curious. What I'm curious about is, will it continue? And when's the next one? Because I can't wait to see it.
It's not. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I hope not.
I think they should have hired an actress to play the vice president.
That would have been successful.
Better.
Yeah, that would have worked.
I don't even care if she's white. Just anybody that can act.
Anybody
can act. Anybody. It doesn't matter. Just get somebody in there. to play the role of Harris. But get President Trump or something. He's not doing anything. He can play that.
Oh, man.
See, and say what you want about President Trump. He had a presence. He could handle
an audience,
Yeah,
real
and-
people.
all the time. And he wasn't acting. He was just himself.
Mhm.
And they're trying to act and be better entertainer than Trump.
And they can't even do it.
No way.
Not even with actor kids.
No way. And Trump was this big production guy, and he was involved in the arts and all that kind of stuff. And he's not the one that built the set of the Oval Office. It's the current administration that built a set away from the White House. At one of the buildings nearby. They built a set so that it looks exactly like.
Oh yeah.
But that way they can get all the production crews in there and get in all the teleprompters and fit them all in, which otherwise it's just too cumbersome and everybody sees them. This way they got a big open room, and we got teleprompters, people propping up the president and directing him to do. And you would think it would be done by the production guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't need it. He just sits down at the desk and just rips it.
For sure.
The guy does well. Well, I'm going to take a break so I can talk to George. George is going to call me right after the break. We'll be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
Strong low pressure system brought us some very gusty winds overnight. Well, the winds are starting to settle down. We've got lots of sunshine, but it's a cool day. 74 this afternoon. There is a lot of confusion about COVID-19, but one thing we know for sure, vaccines aren't enough. Check for fever, COVID's #1 symptom, with the Exergen temporal scanner, and learn more at Exergen.com. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith from the Weather Channel.
In today's Farm and Ranch headlines from AgNet West. Well, if you have yet to register for the National Grazing Lands Coalition's annual conference, this is the week you want to do so. I'll tell you why right after this.
When it comes to protecting your citrus crop, growers who use Monecto Pro insecticide don't miss. With 2 complementary modes of action, Monecto Pro delivers proven broad-spectrum control of ACP and other key citrus pests. Monecto Pro is the premier non-neonic foliar choice to protect your citrus crops. Talk to your Syngenta representative or local retailer to learn more. Always read and follow label instructions. Monecto Pro is a restricted use pesticide. AgNet West Radio Network, your trusted agriculture news provider for the state of Arizona. Stay up to date with accurate local and national agriculture news on this station or by visiting us online at agnetwest.com. Get even more connected by following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by searching at AgNet West, and our team of Brian German at Brian German AgNet West and Danielle Leo with at DLeo AgNet West.
The 8th National Grazing Lands Conference will be held at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, December 6th through 9th. But they want folks to know that if you have yet to register for this in-person event, there's only a few days left to do so at a lower rate. If you register for the conference by October 15th, the price is only $395. After that, it increases to $475. More than 500 ranchers, professors, land managers, researchers, public officials, conservationists, and students will attend this year's event. They'll exchange ideas and information on the latest grazing land issues. Attendees will hear from grazing land experts and more. To learn about it, just simply go to their website, grazinglands.org. But again, be sure to register by this Friday. I'm Randall Wiseman for AgNet West Radio Network.
There's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. And this entire show today, I mean, the sponsor of this show, you know who it is, Andy?
Who is it?
It's, I called you Andy.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm thinking of Andy for a minute, but Johnny.
It's all right.
Arizona Marketplace. It's Yuma's largest outdoor market, second largest in the entire state, and the busiest. It's right there off of 4E, 3351 South 4E. Now, they're not open until November 4th, less than a month now. They're getting it ready right now. They're starting to sweep it up and everything. But it's they're looking for vendors. There's still room for some vendors. So if you massage therapists, pet grooming, boxing supplies. I mean, like, MMA fighting boxing. No, they don't have one of those yet.
No.
I'm sure they don't.
Okay.
But they're getting ready to open. And it's great to have them back. But get over there and talk to them. And there's people there right now. There's people there every day because they do storage too. They have a lot of RVs and boats, and they're like one of the best price storage, and a lot of it's under shade. And plus, there's always security there, and there's cameras and fencing and all that, so your stuff is safe. They have the storage, of course. Right now, we're talking about the vendors are going in there too, but don't forget about that. And a lot of those motorhomes and stuff now are being picked up because it's the season, Johnny.
It is.
It's cooler. But phone number over there, talk Suzanne, 928-328-1088. Let's talk to George. George, how are you, sir?
Pretty good. I'm going to have to ask Willie Brown the next time I run into him whether or not Vice President Harris faked it. I mean,
you never know.
That bad
she probably, maybe they had a production crew.
That's funny, George.
That was the other thing. I don't know if you guys watch Twitter, but Alyssa Milano, I worked on a show called Who's the Boss a long time ago. Is like 47 years old, and she was rattling off all these symptoms from COVID that she has: hot flashes, loss of hair, decreased sex drive, personal dryness, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the ratio is hilarious. Everybody's going, honey, you're going through menopause. Although I did like the best one. Somebody said, no, the hot flashes are caused by climate change.
Oh, God.
Of course.
Oh, that's good. I missed that on Twitter. I'm going to get on Twitter now and try to find that.
Of course, buddy.
Okay, well, anyway, hey, the cases you guys are talking about, Heller versus D.C. Was the first Supreme Court case to ever argue your personal right to carry a weapon, the personal ability to have a weapon. And it was actually, I was at the court that day, and since they hadn't argued the Second Amendment since 1798 when it was put in, they, instead of a half an hour for each lawyer got an hour, which I don't know whether it's a blessing or a curse, because they use the lawyers in front of the Supreme Court as pawns. The 8 justices who ask questions basically bounce questions off you to try to figure out what the other justices are going. And that's how it works. I say 8 because Thomas never ever asks the question. He says, everybody always asks the question I was going to ask anyway. And you should be listening, not talking, is the way he looks at it. But Heller was a D.C. case, and so then they argued, well, since it's the District of Columbia and that's a federal district, it doesn't go through. So the second case that came before was McDonald versus Chicago, and that's the one that instilled it so that, it's now settled law. Just like when they say Roe v. Wade, it's the second case that, went for the whole country.
Oh, so that it's not a district. And that's McCarthy versus Chicago.
No, McDonald.
You wrote McCarthy.
I know I wrote McCarthy, but it's McDonald.
Well, one of them had to be wrong.
After I talked to him.
All right.
I went and looked it up after I sent it to you.
Okay.
So it was McDonald. I knew it started with Mick something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the thing is that where we're at is they're now coming in. Actually, Heller is suing again over the ghost guns. And also there's a case before the Supreme Court that went in April that is whether or not you can carry a gun in public, because what good is the right if you can't move from one place to another with it?
Exactly.
And the thing is that what is kind of hilarious about this is the District of Columbia and Hawaii. I got this from a friend of mine who actually had a gun permit in Hawaii, and probably Garrity can talk more about this than I can. Edward used to go to Hawaii on a regular basis. Anyway, but one of the things was that they're so gun shy. They know that they've got the entire National Rifle Association, Gun Owners Association, and everybody else just ready for you to step across the line, and that they'll take you to the Supreme Court. That it was very easy to get a concealed carry permit in the District of Columbia, and it's just as easy to get one in Hawaii now because of the fact that if they deny it, they know you can automatically appeal.
Oh.
And that it's going to go straight up, and that they're going to lose on the attorney's fees. That's the thing that they're worried about, because just like the activists do on a regular basis, where they sue the government and then win a small case and then get the attorney's fees, or like class actions.
Yeah.
You read about these class actions all the time where you get a thing in the mail and says you're entitled to $2.75 because you were overcharged by Levi's or something like that years ago. Well, the lawyers take, off the top, a third of the money or 40% of the money. And so, they get the big chunk while the people don't get anything out of it. And that's one of the reasons why we got to change the law on class action lawsuits.
It's nice those lawyers get millions. That's great.
Well, the one thing that nobody ever talked about in the Affordable Care Act was the Trial Lawyers Association put it, the doctors kept saying, unless you give us some kind of caps on these judgments, you're just going to have more and more problems. But the Affordable Care Act was helped paid for by the Trial Lawyers Association, so they didn't even talk about that. Didn't do anything on that, and that's one of the reasons why you've got it. You go to the doctor now and you get 56 different tests, because they're trying to cover everything in the entire world.
Oh, yeah.
Although, the biggest thing that's going to come out of this whole thing is when we get done with this COVID thing, the majority of people that died in the nursing homes, in the hospitals, is because you get paid $40-something thousand if you go on a ventilator. And I actually had a client in Las Vegas the other day, and we actually did I threatened to sue the hospital so that they didn't intubate him. And that's why he's still alive. Anyway, all right. McDonnell and Heller, and it looks like they're going to win because of the fact they're going to go through. The big thing that everybody's watching for right now is what's going to happen with Roe v. Wade, and it doesn't look good because of the fact that the courts are not going to go after Texas. They're not going to go after these other ones because they figured out how to go around what they originally lost on before.
But there's a lot of lawsuits right now against Texas because they defined that the baby's life starts at heartbeat. And
well, I mean, life, there's a brand new DNA as soon as the egg splits.
Correct. Correct.
And
but they went with the heartbeat instead of second trimester.
Splits, and so do they.
Yeah, they're very nice, George.
All right. Well, anyway,
thank you, buddy.
It's going to be an interesting court year, and we just had the red mass on the 2nd, and so we only had one of the justices show up for church this year.
Oh, that's unusual, right?
Well, yeah, only had Chief Justice Roberts, and he didn't go to the breakfast, but we did have it this year, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, I've been on too long, so I'll let you guys go.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Have a great week.
All right. I don't think he was on too long. I had more questions.
Well,
that's okay.
He's a busy man.
Maybe. Hopefully he is. Hey, Kirsten Cinnamon. She's going to be in the news for a while longer, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like she's stretching this thing out, this whole 15 minutes of fame, even though...
Well, I hope she stretches this out.
I say 15 minutes of hell. Because,
Yeah.
look, she's getting harassed. It's so amazing. The president hasn't come to her aid at all. Now, she's getting horribly harassed.
Yeah.
And all the president says, kind of get used to it. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Unless you have Secret Service. But I'll get back to that. Let me take a phone call. You're on the air.
This is Gary Snyder. Good morning.
Gary Snyder, what are you up to, man?
Nothing. Just here watching on TV, number one spot on air, 560K Blue.
All right, good. Good going.
So just to call in, check in. I got a few updates for today and for Yuma County.
All right.
We have a player, Jerome Davison, is coming in from Phoenix. He's running for Congress. Ex-NFL player from the Raiders and ex-ASU football player as well. He's coming down to visit us today. We'll be at 5 o'clock at Jimmy K's in the Foothills for the Rio Colorado Republican Women Club. From there at 7:30, we'll be in San Luis, Arizona.
They're going to meet out in the Foothills, the Rio Colorado Women? I didn't. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess they move it around, huh?
This time they're moving out in Jimmy K's. The Elks Cubs got their spaghetti feed going on for the next week or so.
All right.
So we needed to go to Jimmy K's, which is great. Jimmy K's is a beautiful location up in the Foothills.
And then you're going to San Luis after that?
Yep, right after San Luis, Arizona. You know me as a San Luis resident. I want to make sure all the candidates that come down from Phoenix area that they tour the whole Yuma County, not just Yuma itself.
Good for you.
So that's a great opportunity for San Luis as well. For motivational speaker for gentlemen that plays the Raiders and stuff like that. It's good for them.
I don't know Jerome Davison, but NFL player is interesting. Raiders is interesting, but he's not a convict, right? I mean, a lot of Raiders are convicts. But
No,
that's the fans.
Oh, is that the fans or convicts?
Okay. He's actually a current pastor right now.
Wow, that's
yes, sir.
That's it. And he's running for CD9, which that's South County, right?
That's actually no. It's actually in Phoenix itself. It's
Phoenix?
Tempe itself.
Okay, good.
Tempe itself. But a lot of candidates more towards the Republican Party obviously want to come down and analyze, the lifestyle and what we're dealing with at the border, because we are one of the main pillars that are still holding up the United States, because everyone's already going Del Rio. Everyone's starting to migrate towards San Luis and the border right there by Morales Dam through.
Well, yeah, we're getting a lot of attention, nationwide, at least from some areas. You're not going to get it on ABC, CBS, ESPN, or, any of the ones that are drinking from the Kool-Aid of the left, but a national news just the same, because we're getting hammered here.
Yes, we are.
With this kind of stuff. But you should have Jerome Davis call me in, Gary. I'm always interested in new politicians.
Will do. I'll wake him up. He should be on his way actually to Yuma County. He should be here by 10, but I'll have him
he might
call
be
in around
7:30.
7:30. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works for me. Let me know. Just text me and let me know if he's calling.
Perfect. And then I got one more update for First Responders Day, which is October 28th. I'm bringing something special to Yuma County. I'm bringing a lady from New York that currently lives in Cave Creek, Phoenix. She's a retired police officer from Suffolk, New Jersey. She was actually on the scene on 9/11.
Yeah.
She'll be coming down, talking and celebrating and commemorating the 20 years of 9/11, but also at the same time, we want to give our respects to all the first responders, and we'll be having that at the 4 Points on October 28th at 6 p.m. She's a documentary author, also a book author, and she'll be telling her story and what it has to do with now's current crisis that we're living in with the border and stuff like that.
We're living in
from our past.
Multiple crises, but you're right. Border is one of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, Gary.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. You take care. Bye-bye. Gary Snyder. Seems to be getting involved in a lot of stuff.
He's doing a lot. That's good.
Yeah, it is
right?
good. I'm kind of tickled about that. That's nice. I even heard from Greg Wilkinson.
What's going on?
He sent me the article about Kamala Harris.
Oh, he's the one that
same article. I'd already had it, but he picked up on it. Just when you think it can't do anything more stupid.
Yeah.
She can. She's very capable.
I guess so.
I mean, she's a regular Forrest Gump, man. Just terrible. Hey, the activists are, going after Kirsten Sinema. We talked about that, before the call. But they went to, and this is really nice of these activists, they took the time, and we're talking the Sunrise Movement's Tempe chapter and the Arizona Working Families Party. They went to Boston to harass Kirsten, and they couldn't find her.
Oh,
They took all that time to do the plane travel, the hotels, making the signs, asking her to, go along with the 3.5 trillion. Come on, be a real Democrat, be brave, fight for us type signs. Um, and she didn't run. She's still mending a broken foot.
oh,
She didn't want to do it. So she was there, but she didn't run. So how disappointing for those activists.
that makes me feel happy.
Me too. But because it's unreal what they're doing. It's unacceptable.
No, it's not unreal. Come on, there's a lot of money behind this thing. They want to get their Build Back Better bill passed.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with. They trick these people into thinking, "Oh, we're going to take care of you." No, they're not.
But harassing elected officials, unacceptable. Yes, talk to them, go to the venues, you call them, email them, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's perfectly fair. But when you start chasing them into the bathroom,
yeah, it's
trying
horrible.
to disrupt them running a marathon, all those kind of things, disrupting them while they're flying on an airplane in an airport. Look, Kirsten will talk to you. You're just mad because she doesn't agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's where harassment comes in. Now, just recently, we had the Biden administration come out and label parents as terrorists because they go to a venue with educators, the board for the school boards, to voice their opposition to something or to concerns about math or concerns about critical race theory and those kind of things at venues scheduled for comment that's very organized and timed. Well, they're threatened now with terrorism type charges because they think they're too aggressive when they speak publicly at a public forum designed to be spoken at. And yet, I don't see these people going after the Sunrise Movement's Tempe charter, which are chasing people into bathrooms.
Of course not.
The Arizona Working Families Party.
They're paying those people to do it.
Well, some of them may be paid. But it's so weird.
No, the article came out there. A lot of them are paid.
But Biden almost crying on air that these are public servants and they need to be protected and all that. Well, what about Kirsten Sinema? When are you going to protect her, guy?
Well, of course he's not, because she is putting a thorn in his little plan.
Well, I know it's I know what you're saying in that politically and for his own personal. What he wants done.
And it's not him, right? It's the larger, whoever it's built. This Build Back Better.
It doesn't matter
global.
Right now. He's the face of it.
He's the face of it.
But he's the face of going after parents to make them terrorists.
Yep.
And he refuses to lend a hand to help fellow politicians. Whether you agree or not, you should help. You shouldn't allow it. It shouldn't be, we're only going to help certain groups or police protection only for certain groups. We're only going to go after certain groups for terrorism. Like we'll let Black Lives Matter harass people in restaurants with bullhorns and disrupt people's lives. Stand in busy roads to block traffic and all that. We won't say, well, they got a right to protest. But the second a parent says, wait a minute, I don't think you should have that book. Handcuff them, what? Drag them out, what?
Well, we don't know yet because nothing's happened. But
not yet.
I'm sure they'll have some fake for
the threats are all there.
Yeah,
and you know how many examples they used against the 900,000 board members of schools? You know how many threats that they used as an example?
How many?
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero threats. They used zero examples. They use nothing. It's based on nothing except that's not the agenda we're pushing. So now you're a terrorist. Mm-hmm. So everybody go to a school board and say something. Just, support those guys, that are that have a right to speak. And these are elected officials. These school boards are elected officials teaching our kids, asking for input. You go give them input. They says, no, you're a terrorist because it doesn't parallel, what I'm doing. And yeah, some of them are heated. Some of them go up there and says you're molesting our kids, or you're abusing children because of this curriculum is abusive to children. And they go, oh, abusive. You call me abusive. That's terrorism. Really, you're that fragile. And Kirsten Sinema's supposed to take all her crap and
so obviously they don't play fair. There's nothing fair about it.
Hypocrisy, the unfairness, the unbalance. Lady Liberty, the justice, lady with the, blindfold and all that. What happened to all that? No, what happened to it? where it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican, an elected official.
Here's my thing. Here's my question, right? We
What?
have a lot of politicians that listen to the show. I think, are the Republicans going to support Kristen Sinema in this? Are they going to help her through this? You know, do they have her back?
Every Republican that I've talked to look at the incidents as being unacceptable. They don't look at the politics of it.
Mhm.
And I think the Republicans are more apt to do that and to say, look, this is unacceptable. I mean, I'm sure if somebody was chasing Lindsey Graham into the bathroom, the Democrats would be doing cheering and on Twitter saying that's what you get for being a jerk, or something.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're getting from the Republicans. The Republicans are saying, hey, look, that's uncalled for. And I think that's because she's a human. And because it shouldn't be happening, and not because of any criteria of like, well, before I say something, does that support or not support a bill that I'm interested in? That doesn't matter,
Yeah.
and that's not what matters. It's crossing the line. And if you allow it to happen for Kirsten Sinema,
Yeah, you open up the floodgates.
you open it for everybody.
Yeah, you open up for everybody, and that is not
Of course,
good.
the Dems feel insulated because, well, no, that only happens to people that don't agree with us, and they deserve it.
Yeah, I think you hit it right
You
there.
know?
I think you hit it right there. That's the
Yeah.
thing. They feel insulated right
See,
now. They can get
that's
away
what-
with anything.
That's what you get. We'll be back.
H&R Block has many options to make filing your taxes easy. Our tax pros can help you get your max refund with or without the office visit. Drop in, drop off, or a tax pro can even do your taxes virtually. Send some pics from your phone without leaving home. Just another way Block has your back.
All tax situations are different. Not everyone gets a refund.
So when you need a hand with your taxes, H&R Block is here for you. Drop off your taxes today at their offices in Yuma, the Foothills, or San Luis, and let their experienced tax professionals help get your taxes won. Be sure to listen for the border and traffic reports weekdays on this station, brought to you by RV World. They have a large selection of both new and used RVs. Exit Interstate 8 at Araby Road, then west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. That's RV World.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you warm and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1-HOUR for a free service call with completed repair. Don't forget, we're
Always on time, or you don't pay in time. Always on time, or you don't pay in
terms and
time.
conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Arizona Marketplace is Yuma's largest outdoor market, open to the public November 4th, accepting all vendors' applications now. Our clients are requesting products and services like kitchen supplies, golf equipment, handmade jewelry, massage therapists, pet grooming, nail salon, hair extensions, and more. Call now for your reservations at 928-328-1088 or visit azmktholdings.com. Arizona Marketplace.
Listen to 560 KBLU every Friday morning from 8 to 9 for Money Talk. Money Talk, bringing you the latest information and changes in the world of finances, brought to you by the partnerships of Academy Mortgage and Yuma Investment Group Wealth Management. That's Money Talk every Friday morning from 8 to 9 on 560 KBLU.
Saturday, October 23rd, Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is back at Kokopah Casino. It's Yuma's favorite charity event, featuring Gary Allen, with special guests Coffee Anderson, Bobby McClendon, Tanner Gomes, and more. Tickets are available at CokopahResort.com and Boot Barn. Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Alexander Automotive Group, Sign Pro, and El Dorado Broadcasters.
Want your business advertising to work for you now and in the future? Expand the universe you reach. Expanding your sphere of influence will not only bring you new customers, but also reinforce your business brand with those already part of your loyal tribe. You can do that with free over-the-air broadcast radio, which means more people every day than television, billboards, or social media. Sign up for our free business e-tips and learn how to reach more people more often with the power of this radio station at yumaadvertising.com.
Saturday, October 23rd, Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is back at Kokopah Casino. It's Yuma's favorite charity event featuring Gary Allen with special guest Cafe Anderson, Bobby McClendon, Tanner Gomes, and more. Tickets are available at CokopahResort.com and Boot Barn. Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Alexander Automotive Group, Sign Pro, and El Dorado Broadcasters.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news. Prostagenics is the all-natural product that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. #1, because it works. So why not try some Prostagenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. To get your free bottle of Prostagenics, call now 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
Oh. AM 560 KBLU. I lost my mic there. These buttons kind of hold and stick here. Johnny's with me this morning.
Yes, sir.
Doc sent me a note, said, if I share my food with you, it's either because I love you a lot or because it fell on the floor and I don't want it.
All right.
Yeah, so you never know with Doc.
No.
You don't know. So be careful.
Okay.
If Doc
if he offers me food, I'm going to be very skeptical now.
And you don't know which it is.
What his motives are.
You know, the Kirsten Sinema was mentioned at ABC News, featured Kirsten Sinema as taking a hard turn to the right.
Yeah.
Just shows you how ABC News feels about it. Like,
yeah, they're propagandists anyway, so.
Well, they're carrying the water for the Biden administration, and
Yep.
they're just upset. But the piece was titled, Kirsten Sinema, it's confounding her own party, but why? Well, she doesn't believe in the $3.5 trillion boondoggle to cover Greenpeace and destroy our voting.
Destroying everything. That's what it is. It's a destruction bill.
But short of her turning hard to the right, she's voted with President Biden 100% of the time. Well, that's as right as you get right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so right.
Well, right. They write that Manchin's cynicism, they call it centrist, because he's centrist. I'm sorry, not cynicism. Centrist is unsurprising. He's been a conservative Democrat his entire career, and his home state of West Virginia is so red that it might be politically impossible for him to move left, even if he wanted to. But neither is true of Sinema. They're harassing that girl. I mean, they're more pressure than I would have even thought. I mean, you knew that she's going to be under a lot of pressure. She's going to have crap thrown at her like crazy. The left is evil.
Well,
these guys are just, you're not going to rest. No justice, no peace, no sleep, wherever, no peace on the airplane. You can't go to the potty, nothing. You're not going to run a marathon. That's, the Justice Department should be protecting her instead of the 900,000 school board members who have never been harassed, to my knowledge. They may get told something at the at some of the meetings that they don't like you're abusing our kids because of this. They don't like it, but for them to faint and say, "Oh my God, I'm being threatened," it's called terrorism alert. It's crazy, and it's crazy what's going on. But a little bit of an exaggeration there on Kirsten Sinema. Did you hear about the plane crash?
I did. That's unfortunate.
It's really terrible. Yuma Doctor, and I knew it was a twin-engine Cessna that crashed yesterday just after lunch or during lunch period there in California. Originated in Yuma. It's a Yuma pilot, a Yuma doctor, apparently a cardiologist, Dr. Sugat Das, who flew a 340 is not a very common twin. Usually you see the 310s and all that kind of stuff. But something happened. I don't know. It hit a UPS bus as he tried to put it down somewhere in a heavily trafficked area, and UPS driver died. He died. We know that for sure.
Oh, okay.
And there was some people in the a house nearby the cop fire that were injured and had to go to the hospital. Terrible day, a terrible thing. Just horrible for the pilot communities, the aircraft community, as well as the hospital, and just the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. But a cardiologist that something happened that he felt like he was on his way to California, and something happened that had him put down early. Don't know. They'll be doing an investigation.
Yeah, they'll have their investigation going.
But just a horrible situation and terrible loss for us. Letter to the editor I want to read. You mind, Johnny? Can I do that?
Let's do it. Is it interesting?
Yes.
Okay.
The title of the letter is Stop Killing Yourself and Others, Get Vaccinated.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting.
I recently heard an otherwise intelligent person. Now, see, I like the way that starts.
That preface?
Well, yeah, because it says you're stupid. It's just it's a nice way to say stupid. I heard about a stupid guy, but it says, I recently heard an otherwise intelligent person, actually a healthcare worker, admit she is not vaccinated for COVID, even though she knows it could save her life and the lives of others around her, because you can't tell me what to do. So I guess the person is right, and that's the rationale behind people that are not getting vaccinated, Johnny, is because they are, you can't tell me what to do attitude.
Is that what it is?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, well.
But this person may be an expert in it. But I've not met that person that I say, why didn't you get vaccinated? I've never heard, because you can't tell me what to do.
I haven't heard it. Yeah.
But it could be this person's experience anecdotally. This shockingly immature and selfish attitude made me imagine an analogy in which someone is told we could end world hunger if everyone in the U.S. would just donate $1. See, if they said that, I would not donate $1 for that reason, because it's not true. That does not win world hunger. World hunger.
Yeah, no.
And that person responded with, "Let them starve. You can't tell me what to do." Okay, come on, people, stop killing yourself and others, please. And that was G. Devon. Now, I think G. Devon. This is in G. Devon's mind. I'm sure that's how G. Devon feels.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's the rationale of others. I would say don't think so quickly. Maybe you should talk to them and then listen when you do and find out what the real rationale is. And I've heard of multiple different rationales out there and why people do not want to get vaccinated. But I've never heard someone say, you can't tell me what to do is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some people say that they're scared of the government, that some people don't want to have the government control their lives. They do say that, but that's not the reason they don't take the vaccine. It may be part of it. It may be part of their outrage about it. Like, I don't want the vaccine and I shouldn't have the government telling me. But the reason they take it, if you talk to them, it may go a little deeper than that. It may surprise you, G. Devon. There's some real thinkers out there. May not be as stupid as you think. Do you know there's whole countries now that have stopped administering the vaccine?
Yeah, Finland, Sweden. There's
they're finding that the and look,
side effects.
They're finding the effectiveness of it is less and less.
Oh yeah.
They're finding the practicality of like 30%. I've heard of some studies and whatever. So they've stopped using it. And they're not really advertising the side effects. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not out there. They're supposed to be keeping track of it, but I don't trust the government to do it right. But that's and I think G. Devon really feels that way. I don't think that's probably made up by that person, that they're just outraged because they've been watching ABC News and CBS and
the propagandists,
and they're afraid, and they only hear what those folks' narrative is versus the whole picture. Learn the whole picture, talk to people, and you'll. And I think Joe's push is because he knows that there's more and more found out about what's going on. In fact, people that have not been vaccinated but have COVID, have natural immunities, they're saying is a lot better. But I'll get to that. Let me take a break. You'll be right back. AM 560.
From the 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating Studio, this is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
Fox News. Members of the House are back at the Capitol today to raise the nation's borrowing limit. It's just for a few weeks, though, and then the same fight could play out again. But this avoids a possible default on debt this coming Monday.
The House will vote on legislation suspending the debt ceiling through early December, putting off a fight that threatens the U.S. and global economy. Republicans have argued Democrats should act on their own as they work to spend trillions on President Biden's Build Back Better plan. Last week, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Republicans would not block debt ceiling legislation, clearing the way for the measure to reach the House. The vote is scheduled for later today. Once passed, the president is expected to sign the bill. Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
Moderna is asking for federal approval of a third booster shot of its coronavirus vaccine for Americans 65 and up and younger people considered high risk. The company says its data supports booster shots after 6 months to raise antibody levels. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is banning private companies and any other entity in the state from requiring coronavirus vaccines for employees or customers. Some companies in Texas had already announced vaccine mandates. At least one person on a small plane and one person on the ground are killed in a crash in Southern California.
The plane slammed into a UPS truck and skidded into several homes.
We have 12 homes that have been impacted. 2 of them complete losses.
Justin Matsushita is the deputy fire chief in Santee, California. Neighbors rescued 2 residents from their burning home.
You could see the side window of her living room and flames all over the living room. And so we opened the door or the window and said, come out this way, and pulled her out of the window.
The plane's pilot, a cardiologist from Yuma, Arizona, and the driver of that UPS truck were killed. The National Transportation Safety Board launching an investigation.
Fox's Jack Callahan. An elderly couple was rescued from one of the houses hit that caught on fire. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a fact. COVID hospitalizations of young people have tripled since the start of summer. Also a fact, vaccines are highly effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths, even from the Delta variant. If you've got questions about COVID vaccines, talk to a doctor, because our kids are irreplaceable. We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Big news from Simply Safe Home Security. Okay. Actually, I think the horns are too much. Yeah, that's better. Big news. The new wireless outdoor security camera is here. Yes, Simply Safe's award-winning home security just got even better, taking whole home protection to a whole new level. Okay, I'm missing the horns. Simply Safe is celebrating this new camera by offering free shipping for a limited time. Visit SimplySafe.com.
Local news from HDDailyNews.com is brought to you by Bridget's Gift. Help us help our Yuma friends fighting breast cancer by joining us
for our 10th annual Western Dance and Barbecue at Coco Paw Casino, featuring Gary Allen.
Here's the news in 60 seconds, YumaDailyNews.com. An update to a drive-by shooting earlier this month in Yuma County. 3 people have now been arrested. Read the story, YumaDailyNews.com. Spooky season is in full swing, and the scary and safe trick-or-treat is returning to the fairgrounds this Halloween, starting at 4 p.m. Admission is only $1 per person, or you can get the Fast Pass for $5. All proceeds are going to be donated to the Arizona Law Enforcement Torch Run for the Special Olympics. Yuma Library is hosting a October 21st. Take a look at the details, YumaDailyNews.com. Yuma Daily News brings you Cheap Gas Tuesday every Tuesday at 7. Looks like the lowest in the state is $2.76. We found the lowest price at an Arco on North First Avenue in San Luis for $3.09, cash only. Keep sending those ideas for local stories to us via email to newsroom@yumadailynews.com. We'll take a look. For now, that's the news. I'm Andrew Caravella.
Saturday, October 23rd, Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is back at Coco Paw Casino. It's Yuma's favorite charity event, featuring Gary Allen, with special guests Coffey Anderson, Bobby McClendon, Tanner Gomes, and more. Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Lamar Advertising and the YRMC Cancer Center.
Truckmates, Yuma's Fix Up Your Pickup Truck Store is Yuma's home for snug top shells and lids. Snug Top, designed and manufactured to the highest standard. Industry-leading quality and trend-setting design that protect and complement your vehicle. That's Snug Top. Truckmates is also your Line-X spray-in bed liner dealer. Line-X, #1 in America for spray-in bed liners. With nationwide warranty coverage, is now available and installed by Yuma's most experienced spray-on team at Truckmates. So protect your vehicle inside and out with Line-X spray and bed liners and snug top shells and lids at Truckmates. Truckmates is also your home for BDS suspensions, the highest quality aftermarket suspension lift kits, leveling kits, and accessories for 4x4 off-road truck and Jeep enthusiasts. And BDS suspensions are backed by the best lifetime warranty in the industry. BDS suspensions, Line-X spray and bed liners, and snug top shells and lids at Truckmates in its brand new building, same location, 32nd Street next to Lowe's.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you, Johnny in studio.
I'm here. Are you going to talk to me?
Not much. You know, and I do have someone on the line, but before I get to him, Hyundai of Yuma out there on 32nd Street. They're a sponsor of the show, and they have cars with the greatest, American warranty: 5 years, 60,000 miles; 10 years, 100,000 miles. Get over and test drive, because it's not just the warranty; the cars are quality. That's how they can afford to do that, and they got the #1 selling truck as far as the quickest off the lot, not the volume yet. It's just brand new, just came out. So get over and take a test drive all of them, but get some of that 5 year, 60,000 mile warranty. You'll be glad you did. But that's not why you buy them. It's actually, they drive well. They're a fun car. I enjoy doing it. And I do have on the line, Edward is calling in to say hello. And I know I'm going to regret this, but I said, please call in.
Oh,
I did.
got yourself into this.
I did. Edward, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I am doing well today.
Doing good.
Kind of chilly this morning, Is that down?
It is
60.
Here too. It's 65.
Wow, we had 69. It's like, man, we complain about the heat all year, and then as soon as it gets cold, I say chilly, right? I guess I'm never happy.
You people out there, I don't get it. But I am going to have to disagree with your quality statement with Hyundai. My wife's axle is cracking and has to be replaced.
It's a 1999 Elantra with 1.5 million miles on it, and it's
1.5 million is a little large.
Well, I'm clowning the airtime.
Then you have to go with 2.
Okay, all right, yeah. As it flies back and forth to Hawaii, yeah. See, you didn't know I'd be including that, but it's got over 200,000.
355,800.
And she's kind of a demolition driver anyway, so I'm surprised it's still running, to tell you the truth.
I'm shocked. The DC police refer to her as Evel Knievel.
There you go. Well, it was the helmet that gave it away. What's on your mind, buddy?
Well, I've been hearing you guys complain about the Biden administration and what they're doing to America.
True.
And I'm calling outside of my issues of looking at the facts and going to be delivering a statement that everyone needs to start supporting the president, because by screaming resist, that's that's bad. We should show the office respect.
Is this patriotically that we should be supporting the president because of patriotism, or
of patriotism? Yes, the office of the presidency.
Right. Wrap ourselves in the flag, because his policies are so good for us. Correct?
I don't know about you, but I know for me, they're fantastic.
Well, there's the rub, right there.
Let's take a look at this $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill.
Okay.
It is fantastic. Let's say that, they want to, start charging for capital gains tax in value worth. Right now, if I make an investment and I hold on to a period of time, particularly stock bonds or anything, I don't get taxed on the value increase. And he wants to tax me on the value increase.
Before you cash it out, even just the value increase alone?
Just the value.
Wow.
Just the value increase
Okay.
alone.
All right.
But the beautiful thing here is, if I were to set up 2 different companies and make an investment and then sell that investment to my other company for a loss, I can take the full deduction of that loss under the plan.
So you take the gain and the loss all at the same time.
At the same time.
That kind of wipes it out, right?
Oh, actually, the government would cut me a check for my tax. I take that as a deduction.
But you still have to pay the gain for the other company.
Yes, but the loss will be almost twice the loss of the gain on paper.
Oh, okay.
So not only the idea is that you sell me, a pack of gum for $1, I turn around and sell it to Johnny for $2, but I take the receivable and sell it to my other company for $1, taking a loss.
Right.
I've now made $2. $1 from the government and $1 from Johnny.
So you're saying that it's not going to, I mean, they advertise this as we're going after the wealthy, scum of the earth, the wealthy, and, we're going to tax them, make them pay their fair share. You're saying that's not true.
I didn't say that. We're paying our fair share of taxes that they're going to put into the legislation. We're going to follow the tax code.
Well, but if you follow the tax code, these new rules are not going to damage you in any way. In fact,
they're going to hurt small business and assist me.
They're going to hurt small business.
Yes.
Which actually helps you too, because, and I know you've talked about it before, you've gotten to a higher level of business due to hard work and all that kind of stuff. And of course, anybody in small business can work hard and catch you and be your competitor. But you kind of like this, I think, because this may eliminate that small business guy from growing.
We won't have to look as hard, as well as I'll be able to invest in small companies of interest at a higher rate, because as inflation is driving, sooner or later will drive up interest rates.
Right.
The availability of cost of capital will rise. And investment groups and standards and banks will stop looking at small businesses and taking the risk there and look more overseas, as well as the dominant players here in the States.
And your job is to actually invest in small business. You do or small. Well, we wouldn't call it small business. You would call it smaller businesses. But you actually buy parts of businesses. You finance businesses.
We finance operations. And we take an equity stake in the full program. And once we either decide we cash out by selling it to somebody else, or we run them public, or merge them into somebody else.
And this could help your business a lot. As other small businesses suffer, you could gain.
Because they have lack of access to capital. So, we all know that you can't make money until you spend money.
Right.
So if the cost of capital is driven up, somebody will come to us right now, and the market's pretty lean to a degree, and say, hey, we need to borrow $5.5 million for our startup. Here's our business plan. Under the new $3.5 trillion, which will drive the cost of inflation interest rates higher, I'll be able to say, you know what, I want 65% control. No, 75.
So this whole Biden plan of attacking the wealthy and on the surface raising the rates, raising the issues of more capital gains tax and all that really doesn't scare you.
Not at all. Because the U.S. also, I'm sure you've heard the global 15% rate.
Yeah. Well,
if you read what Yellen was agreed to, the EU, and particularly Ireland, as you know, I'm a personal fan, it is not raising its rate to 15%. 15% is the cap for Ireland. So Ireland's agreed that it'll agree to a 15% cap, but the businesses there now can get 12.5% as they are currently, which is why many U.S. tech giants moved operations to Ireland.
Well, and a lot of places, I think it wasn't Abu Dhabi at one time a big destination because they had a low rate.
Low tax rates.
Low tax rates. Yeah.
Those are the business positive areas. So as they drive up the cost of business in the U.S., the beautiful thing is offshoring operations becomes even cheaper. Now, I've been watching the press releases, and yes, Ireland agreed to 15%, but you have to dig into the details.
But they use it as a cap, not as a adjustment to what their real rate's going to be.
Correct. Now you have Hungary and Estonia that had gotten exclusion zones inside their countries to maintain low rates.
Okay.
So imagine if the U.S. turned around and said, we're going to make Iowa an exclusion rate. So everybody else would pay 34%, but Iowa would pay 12%.
And that's always interests me on how these things happen where you have an American-based company, and I'm going to use Burger King as an example. A few years ago, Burger King was getting heavily taxed, and they said, well, we'll change that. Our headquarters is going to be Canada. And they just, I guess, changed the paperwork and to say, okay, I'm now a Canadian company, and cut their tax bill in half. But yet Burger King down the street didn't change anything in their operations. I didn't have to speak French or anything to get a hamburger. But is it that simple? Can companies just do that? Just say, look, I'm a Canadian company today, and nothing changes but my tax rate.
It's not as simple as that. You do have to file an operational standard. So you have to reset the corporation up in Burger King as a Canadian company. The Canadian company will then purchase the assets of the American company, move those assets under title control to the Canadian company, and now you have a wonderful Canadian company. Now, the beautiful thing of the $3.5 trillion tax loss, infrastructure bill, is the fact that now, let's say we'll say Bob's House of Pancakes wants to do the same thing. They want to move to Canada for a cheaper tax rate. But Bob's also sitting on $50 billion in debt that he has.
Okay.
Now, that debt is not truly tax deductible directly not tax deductible under the concepts that under the $3.5 trillion. So Bob opens up a Canadian company, sells the assets to the Canadian group, but then declares the U.S. version, just holding the debt, bankrupt, and sells that to another outfit that takes the loss and takes the deduction under the new plan, making back the debt money.
Did Burger King do something similar?
We can't do that now. We're waiting. They didn't have that option because the Biden wasn't president, offering big corporations the ability to offload losses.
But it's not. You say it's difficult for someone to do that, but it's not for you because you have staffs of people that do just those kinds of things. That's what they do.
No, correct. There's people who constantly are hiking, the globe looking for a better deal for 5 or 6 years, and they'll say, "Hey, we'll pick up stakes and move elsewhere," because you don't have to physically move people.
Yeah.
In most regards, you do have to open up an office, and it's always good to have your mainstay. But the president of Burger King didn't move to Canada.
He stayed right where he was.
He stayed right where he was. Now he shows up in Canada from time to time, but he doesn't have to move to Canada.
Okay.
Now, the other item in the Human Infrastructure Bill is that it will raise standard requirements for salaries and taxes and benefits and unions, which will even help further assist me in going further because as I'm assisted in moving my companies forward because I can absorb certain costs.
Right.
And small businesses can't, they'll go under because of lack of economics.
Now, how is it you can absorb certain costs? Is that just because you can absorb them because you're really not going to pay the same thing everyone else pays?
We're stuck under the same laws and requirements, and we'll pay the $15 an hour.
Okay.
But I can offload those additional costs under my tax plans because I'll hit a certain economic format and then be able to deduct those losses because I will segregate out my people expenses to a secondary corporation and pay them through that, offering the loss.
So
then under the new plan becomes a deductible part.
So you would actually have a separate corporation that would be the labor force would be a separate corporation?
Correct.
Okay.
Which would take the loss.
And then,
under the new capital gains tax plan, the losses inside that value will go down because of the exceeded costs of labor. And I can use that and get a deduction.
And smaller businesses can't do that because of the complexities and they just don't have the staff. Or would local CPAs not want to do that?
I would guarantee you that local CPAs would cringe. And I do remember the first time I had a party in Yuma.
Yes.
Was talking to some of your local CPAs, going over, my suggestions for some local businesses, and they were all cringing on the ideas of what I was advising. Simply for the fact that the paperwork is the killer, which the best item for big business in America is the Internal Revenue Service.
What do you mean the best item? They're the devil. They're the ones coming after you.
They're coming after you.
Oh, okay. Now I got it wrong.
You really can't Precision Auto really can't afford to fight the fight. You will most likely, if you ever had a tax problem, you'll wind up settling. And that's what they depend upon.
Okay.
Is to settle, not to fight. So they come after a larger company. The lawyers are yanked out, corporate law firms are brought in, and both sides would do battle to the point where the IRS will wind up actually trying to figure out if they can settle, because the cost of fighting will go on and go on and go on.
But you got staffs of lawyers already that are just standing there waiting for that to happen anyway.
We're waiting for the call.
All right. So you got those all available.
So we need to be able to keep this. So, let's stop complaining about Brandon.
Okay.
And let's start.
Oh, and that's something I meant to tell you. You called the wrong show, Edward. I mean, I don't have a lot of billionaires listening to my program.
Oh, but everybody in some form or way, you work for a company, so don't you want to help us help you pay more?
Yeah, I mean, if we make you healthy, how does that help me?
By making me happy.
Oh, I want your happiness and all that kind of stuff.
Do it for the children.
Do it for the children.
Do it for the children.
Your children.
Well, yes, but the phrase always works.
That's how
do
it works.
Do it for the children.
Yeah, your kids. But for most everybody listening to this program, most everybody, the 3.5 trillion is not what it's being advertised as something that's going to be a betterment for all those small employers and all that kind of stuff, and getting the and getting these wealthy guys that don't pay their fair share, which is always a buzzword, doesn't mean anything, because we all know that the top 1% pay some like 40% of the total tax bill. But
last year it was almost 50 because of the pandemic.
Okay. Yeah, more people didn't work.
But I can guarantee there's two other listeners who agree 100% with me, and both of them are small business owners.
Well, they will agree with what you're saying as far as the pitfalls of the 3.5. They're not going to agree with you that it's a good thing.
Oh, no, these two will agree with me.
No. I mean,
yes.
Small businesses are going to agree that it's good.
Yes, they will. These two small business owners, one opened up a lemonade operation stand, and the other one a tutoring service program.
Those are your kids.
They are my kids, but
okay.
They're still small business owners.
Okay. Yes, and I'm sure
they're simply funded by Paramount.
And I'm sure they took a tax deduction and probably get some kind of rebate or something.
Madison did a nice work last year on her programs.
Did you? Yeah, she does nice. And Madison is 11?
She is 11. Edison just turned 8.
And I think Madison is as attuned to business as most small businessmen are, girls or ladies, whatever. But she grew up with it. I mean, she's got her head on a swivel. She
does. She pays attention. I'll grant her that. She is my little business executive, and Edison's my marketing master. I should say more public relations.
More public relations, yes, and he's good at that, and he's already 8 years old, so he's doing well. He's moving
Madison
along.
Likes to collect business cards. Anybody she asks now, she asks for a business card.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh man,
she said she noticed me do that a lot.
They've been following you around too much. But short of that, the things that the Biden administration are doing, in my mind, are harming America in many ways. Does that bother you at all? I mean, you make a lot of money in the United States. You have businesses in the United States, and you're only going to be, successful in the United States, at least in some ways, if people have disposable income to spend at restaurants or theme parks and things like that. Isn't that going to at least hurt your sales ability?
Not in the short run, because illegals who are coming in, once they get here, they can get close to $2,300 a person per month.
Yeah.
And because they're not working, they're like the perfect targets for the amusement section of the investment.
So we're going to send our illegals to the amusement parks on the U.S. taxpayers' dime?
Of course. Several of our parks were forced to take EBT cards.
They take EBT cards?
Some were forced to take. The ones we challenged. It was bringing in the wrong group of people, because if you can afford to buy a ticket, what are you doing with an EBT card?
Right. Yeah.
But then accounting explained to me in certain parts of the country that makes sense.
Okay, so you you guys okayed all that. So EBT cards are available at the restaurants inside some theme parks. I never knew that. That's amazing to me. Yeah.
Particularly California requires it in order to maintain a fair share because people who don't work deserve vacations too.
Okay. And especially if they're on taxpayer money, because
of course
that way it goes into the theme park pockets.
Exactly. And the restaurants,
all right,
they go to that. But my biggest concern, though, in all sense of sincerity, is that I texted you this morning and I said I feel that the middle class is being priced out of Christmas and Hanukkah.
Correct.
And as I watched oil tack above $80, as I watched wholesale prices of gasoline hit $2.40 on Friday, and I listened to the Secretary of Energy this morning say, "See, we're bringing down gas prices at $2.37." And I'm thinking to myself, $2.37, that's not down. That's still $3 off of your all-time high over the past 10 years, wholesale. Which is going to easily report to, and I tell people, fill up today because tomorrow it's going to be another 12, 15 cents higher.
Where I saw,
retail.
I saw 320 around Yuma today, and over 320. But it's not done going up. We think we're going to continue.
I would assess, because I'm not sure if you saw that the Wicked Witch of Michigan
is
attempting to shut down their pipeline with Canada.
Which that's an international border, though. She has no jurisdiction to do that.
She has the jurisdiction under the rights of the bridge, is Michigan territory, and so the United States, has that small slither in when the border meets, but she controls the infrastructure of the bridge on her side, and she is within her right. Now, the Canadians did file the first petition ever seeking regress under the original terms back from 18-something for the federal government to step in to stop this nonsense, but the Biden administration is not going to step in, which means 15% of the oil that flows for the U.S. flows in from Canada will come to an end within 5 months. And the Chinese have stepped up to help the Canadians and said they will help build a loading and pipeline to the Pacific coast of Canada.
So they'll take the 15% that we lost.
They'll take what we used to get. Now, if you consume that OPEC is slowing down the spigot after Mr. Biden asked them to turn it up, and you have Venezuela who says, we're going to cut back production even more, and they're doing that simply for the fact almost nothing works down there. Now you take 15% away from Canada, you're looking at another $1 in wholesale by gas. You're looking at oil at $100, $110 a barrel. Goldman is going as high as $120 in their analyst expectations.
We went from energy independence to where we're going to be vulnerable, much like Japan was during World War II.
Very much so, especially since the EPA now is reviewing several gas refinery operations down the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
Which, if they get their way, will shut down almost 40% of our gasoline production.
And I do know that the dream of the left is to turn off all fossil fuels, but I hope they realize that the battery technology isn't there yet to give everyone a Tesla.
Well, my favorite analogy that the Energy Secretary gave to was Thursday, explained that he wishes the United States would look at China, how they're moving towards solar. Now, if you pick up any major energy magazine production, you'll see that China, Canada, and half of Scandinavia is running shortages of coal.
Yes.
Their green energy markets are controlled by coal power plants.
Right. And in fact, I read something the other day that Canada is still building new coal power plants at a tremendous rate.
Simply for the fact that the technology is out there today to actually create truly clean coal.
Yes, and we had a lot of that.
When most people look at it and they say that's a coal power plant, look at that, all that terrible smoke rising. It's not smoke; it's steam.
Yeah, it's vapor.
You could stand in the middle of that and simply just get wet and not worry about health.
Correct.
But we are shutting those down in favor of the Texas freeze going countrywide.
Not good. Well, I appreciate you calling in and just filling us with joy and happiness this morning, Edward.
I'm glad. Just know that thanks to the Biden administration, if you call your congressman and senator, say, pass this, my kids will have a fabulous Christmas.
Well, good. Should we go out and harass Kirsten Sinema to go ahead and pass that bill then?
Yes, because, a very wise woman once said,
what?
Go out there, tell them that she's not wanted here and that she needs to get her act together. And that wise woman was Congressman Waters. God bless her soul.
Thank you, sir. You take care.
You too.
Thanks for the call. Johnny.
I'm convinced.
I'm happy, but not about the subject. Hey, before I take a break, Arizona Marketplace. Assuming we're going to still be here for Christmas, Arizona Marketplace going to be open up on November 4th, but right now they're taking applications for vendors. So if you have a vendor, if you sell anything like kitchen supplies, golf equipment, handmade jewelry, or you always wanted to, candles, massage therapists, boxing supplies, I don't care. Get over there and see them. Talk to Suzanne. She's over there right now. 3351 South Avenue 4E, or give her a call, 928-328-1088. We'll be right back.
In today's Ag Business Update from AgNet West, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is investing $10 million to enhance food safety outreach, training, and education. More after this.
When it comes to protecting your citrus crop, growers who use Manecto Pro insecticide don't miss. With 2 complementary modes of action, Manecto Pro delivers proven broad-spectrum control of ACP and other key citrus pests. Manecto Pro is the premier non-neonic foliar choice to protect your citrus crops. Talk to your Syngenta representative or local retailer to learn more. Always read and follow label instructions. Manecto Pro is a restricted use pesticide. AgNet West Radio Network, your trusted agriculture news provider for the state of Arizona, bringing local, statewide, and national headline news right to you on this radio station. Let our team of Danielle Leal,
budget revisions put surplus to good use for agriculture,
and Brian German,
salmonella outbreak report points to adjacent land use,
keep you informed here, weekdays over the radio airways, on our Farm City Newsday podcast, or online at agnetwest.com.
USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture recently announced that 21 grants have been awarded under the Food Safety Outreach Competitive Grant Program. The grants are offered for the purpose of developing and implementing Food Safety and Food Safety Modernization Act-related training, education, extension outreach, and technical assistance for food processors and farmers with small to mid-size operations. Awards are made under 3 categories: multi-state education and training projects, community outreach projects, and collaborative engagement supplements. NEFA Director Dr. Carrie Castile said the program helps to provide critical resources to equip small business owners with the tools they need to strengthen their business while helping to ensure a safe and abundant food supply. I'm Brian German for AgNet West Radio Network.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Hundreds more Southwest airline flights canceled today, and comic book publisher DC is set to launch a gay Superman. Those stories next. Mike Lindell, the inventor and CEO of MyPillow, wants to give back to our listeners. You can get great discounts on all MyPillow products if you go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the radio listener specials. Get deep discounts on MyPillow's mattress toppers, towels, and so much more. For example, Mike is offering a buy one, get one free offer on Giza sheets. My wife and I love these Giza sheets, and I'm sure you will as well. All MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Go to MyPillow.com and click on the radio listener specials for the buy one, get one free offer on Giza sheets. Enter promo code DOBBS or call 1-800-977-9152 for these great specials. That's 1-800-977-9152. Use promo code DOBBS. Again today, Southwest Airlines canceled hundreds of its flights, adding to more than 1,800 canceled over the weekend. 360 flights canceled and more than 600 delayed, supposedly due to, quote, operational challenges in Southwest system. But the FAA has now taken the rare step of pushing back on Southwest's explanation. So the mystery goes on. On Wall Street today, stocks closed lower. The Dow Jones Industrials fell 249 points, most of those losses coming in the final hour of trading. Ever since his first appearance in Action Comics #1 back in 1938, the iconic character Superman has stood for truth, justice, and the American way. But now DC Comics Superman's publisher is about to launch a new comic book featuring the Man of Steel having a romantic relationship with another male. Poor Lois. Please join me 3 times each weekday for my updates from the Salem Radio Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
We'll tear up this town. Now I gotta cut loose, put loose, kick off the Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me up on my leave. Jack, get back, come on.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark back with you, and Johnny's in studio.
Yes, sir.
And I do have on the air Jerome Davidson, former NFL player, and now in politics, Johnny.
Yeah.
Politics. So, Jerome, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, fellas. Everything is good. I'm good.
Good morning.
I'm on my way there.
You're on your way? Oh,
I'm
good.
on my way there. So if my reception breaks up, it's because I'm driving. I'm on my way.
Well, then you've got an excuse. Good. You can hang up any time and say, well, it wasn't my fault. But I appreciate that. But now you're engaged in politics. You're in the Phoenix area, and you're coming to Yuma to say hello, which we do appreciate. That's nice. But you decided that NFL wasn't rough enough. You need more bruises. Is that it? You know, there's some, it's a tough business, man.
It's tough business, but you know what? When you have a pretty clean slate like me, I was a Raider, but I wasn't involved in the clubbing and all that kind of stuff. So my name is pretty good, but at the same time, I like to give bruises too. Oh. And so after you've called your politicians and complained and cried and prayed and all that stuff, now it's actually time to do something.
Well, good. So you're not afraid.
I'm one of those country boys, man. I was raised in the Mississippi. I played high school ball against Brett Favre.
Oh, really?
And Terrell Buckley.
I'm
that old. I'm aging myself right now.
Wow. Man, well, you're not the oldest guy on the phone, by the way. But okay.
Oh, come on, man! Y'all sound younger than me.
No, man, we'll surprise you, buddy. But you're involved. Is this your first office you're running for?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
it's my first office.
And you're running up in District 9, Congressional District 9.
That's right. It includes Tempe. I played ball at ASU. I was there with Darren Woodson, Mario Bates, Felipe Sparks.
So what is it that you see in Arizona that you can give an assistance to and help us be a better state, man?
Well, first of all, I think we need moral leadership, and I bring that. We need bold leadership, and we need safety. I want to secure the border. I'm concerned about the children and things that's coming across that border, the drugs, the cartels, stuff like that. I can do that. And I'm going to be more of a people person, a visible person. I've always been that way. I'm a pastor now as well. So I've been pastoring for close to 25 years.
I did hear that.
I'm among the people.
Yeah, I did hear that. I think that's a good background also.
Here's the deal, man.
Yeah.
I know the price of a pack of chicken.
Well,
I'm that common. I mean, some of these people that get into these, they get elected and they become elites.
Correct.
And they start telling us what they think is best for us instead of the will of the people. I know the price of a pack of chicken. I go in there. I've watched chicken go from $5 to close to $8 for the same pack.
Should be a crime. But unfortunately, I think we're in for more of it, Jerome. And unfortunately, we have got some policies in place that are going to be hurting us for many years.
Absolutely. Do you see the ports, the seaports,
yes,
the West Coast and East ports? It's just these mandated things like this is really hurting us because it's killing our free market. And now you can't even fly where you want to go now because Southwest is the people are walking away because of the mandates. They said it's because of the weather.
Well, yeah,
but
I heard they had a weather.
Because of the weather, how come weather is only hurting Southwest?
Well, they have radar in airplanes, but you're right. They're lying because my understanding is they don't have to refund the ticket if it's weather.
Oh, okay.
That's an act of God.
I think they're trying to protect the fact that they were trying to force people to get inoculated. My medical decision is my medical decision. I think everybody should have that freedom.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And now the state of Arizona is very much in flux right now. We're red, we're blue, we're whatever, and obviously you're a conservative because you just said border control. That makes you a conservative automatically. Why is that such
Not really though.
Why?
Not really.
Tell me.
I know a lot. I meet a lot of people, man, that are concerned about that border, and they're just blue or red, or they're just people.
But they're not vocal. I mean, I do not see Democratic politicians stand up and say anything about it. It's as if they've got the blinders on. They don't want to see it.
They have to, man. Listen, they're making a lot of money, man. How does a politician go in making $150,000 a year and come out $100 millionaire? You know, you come out $100 million.
Yeah,
they're making a lot of money, man. They're corrupt, and we have to stop it.
And how are you going to accomplish that too?
Well, for one, I know I'm working with a couple of guys now, Jeff Flake, Walt Blackman. We're all running for Congress. We want to go in and take the House back from Nancy Pelosi, send her back to Poop City, San Francisco.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I'm from, the Bay Area, man.
No, wait a minute. You said Jeff Flake. Jeff Flake's an ambassador to Israel or something.
No, not Jeff Flake. Jeff Zink. My bad.
Okay, I was going to say, Turkey. He's in Turkey. Jeff Flake. Okay, Jeff Zink. That's better. I was getting ready to hang up on you. I was going to say, I don't know, lost connection.
That's great, Russ.
I'm not. When he was, you remember him? He got on the elevator. And he had that frightened look on his face.
Well, he was scared to death, man, and he buckled. He buckled because of harassment. I refused to buckle because of harassment. You can change your mind with knowledge or understanding or those kind of things. You know, well, that's something I didn't know. Let's take a look. But because you scared, really, that's going to cause you.
I'm 6 foot. I'm 6'1". I still bench press 400 pounds. I'm 250 pounds. I don't think they're going to approach me like that.
Well, I hope not. And I was surprised about Jeff, and I knew Jeff really well. You know, I had him on many times, talked to him. I mean, I was shocked that he, became Liz Cheney. I didn't know.
Right.
I
think there was so much hatred for Trump.
Yes.
There was so much, and it was a strange hatred because here it was, the man was loved by everybody prior to getting involved in running on the Republican ticket.
Yeah.
Loved by everybody. He helped Jennifer Hudson, who her family was murdered. He put her in this hotel in Chicago for a whole year, had security, food, everything for free. He dated a black woman. He supported Jesse Jackson for running as the first black president. Nobody else supported him.
No.
And now that when he ran, everybody turned their back on him and called him a racist. I was like, no, man, that's not right.
No. Hey, I just got a text from a very wealthy businessman that said, don't close the border. How am I going to get cheap labor? So,
Well, listen, we've let enough people in here already for him to have labor until eternity, because we just let in, I think, up to 3 million people.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's enough.
Well, I don't think it's. I mean, the theory is, and it's not been proven yet, but the theory is that the left sees us all as Democratic voters of the future, and they need to jam up the rolls of Democrats. So they got to bring them from another country to vote them in, and to change our country with it. Which
that's a slick way of circumventing the will of the people.
Yeah.
Because they doing this because after their policies, after how they're destroying the country, they know that a lot of people are not going to vote Democrats. They're not going to vote for them anymore.
Right.
So now you just kind of take the vote from them.
But you got these guys
bringing these folks in,
coming in across the border, and they're getting free hotel rooms. They're getting thousands of dollars in subsidies. I mean, they're getting treated like kings. At the same time, we're defunding police officers, and we're not taking care of veterans.
Now, listen, I'm not for reparations. I'm a black man.
Okay.
I'm black.
All right.
Okay. If you're going to give away some money, why not give it to some people who are descendants of slaves who help make America great? But you bring these people in here, you give them all of these subsidies, you give them $30,000 cash. I'm passing by a hotel right now. They can have blocked off of I-10, and it's just packed with illegals. They get everything they want.
Yeah, they
now,
do.
At the same time, rent is going crazy. I'm seeing more homelessness take place in Arizona. I've never seen it like this.
It's getting tough. Hey, where are you going to be? You're going to be here at you're going to be out in the foothills. I forget the name of the restaurant at 5:00, and I'll get that figured out and get that broadcast. But I'm interested in coming over and saying hello. I'm trying to think of what is today, Johnny? Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I should have time. I got time.
I'm going to be out here with Gary
Snyder.
Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah, good man. Good brother. We clicked as soon as we met.
He seems to be everywhere, man. I don't know about
He
Gary.
is everywhere. He's got energy, man, like a Energizer bunny.
Yeah, I don't know what he's taking, but it's working for him. Yeah. Well,
I hear you, man.
I'm running out of time, so but I'll see you tonight. I'm gonna come out, and you're welcome on anytime. We enjoy talking, buddy.
All right, man. JeromeForCongress.com.
All right, Jerome. You take care. Bye-bye.
Blessings, man.
All right. And very nice. I do need to take a break. We'll be right back. AM 560.
Big dose of some much cooler weather behind the cold front that made its way across the Southwest overnight. Lots of sunshine, just not a lot of warmth. 74 today, 79 tomorrow. There is a lot of confusion about COVID-19, but one thing we know for sure, vaccines aren't enough. Check for fever, COVID's #1 symptom, with the Exergen temporal scanner, and learn more at Exergen.com. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith from the Weather Channel.
Explore the great outdoors this fall with Kokopah Casino. Each drawing, you have the chance to win great outdoor prizes, cash, or rewards play. Drawings every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday through October 29th. On October 30th, one lucky winner will ride away with a 2021 Forest River travel trailer. Earn entries daily by playing your favorite slots and table games with your rewards card. For complete rules, see the Kokopah Casino Rewards Club. Winning is just around the corner at Kokopah Casino and Resort, South Highway 95 in Somerton.
Are you struggling to find quality employees? Tired of placing the same old Sunday classifieds or getting lost in the online job boards and getting the same results? Then you need to call us today at 344-4980 and put radio to work for you. It's fast. Place an ad today and have it on air tomorrow. Whether you're looking for hourly workers or to fill highly specified job descriptions, placing an ad on radio will help you fill these positions quickly. Call 344-4980 today and put radio recruitment to work for you.
Arizona Marketplace is Yuma's largest outdoor market, open to the public November 4th, accepting all vendors' applications now. Our clients are requesting products and services like kitchen supplies, golf equipment, handmade jewelry, massage therapist, pet grooming, nail salon, hair extensions, and more. Call now for your reservations at 928-328-1088 or visit azmktholdings.com. Arizona Marketplace.
The Border Report brought to you by RV World, located on Gila Ridge Road. Exit Interstate 8 on Araby Road, then head west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. RV World, Yuma's premier recreational vehicle dealer since 1991, offering a large selection of new and used RVs. Here are the latest wait times for passenger vehicles in the standard lanes at our selected ports of entry. Algodones, 2 lanes open, a 30-minute wait. Calexico East, 2 lanes open with an hour wait. It's also an hour at Calexico West with 7 lanes open. San Luis, an hour and a half to cross with 2 lanes open. Get updated border reports anytime at yumadailynews.com.
The best advertising in the world is the most memorable. That's the goal of all advertising, to make your business the name to remember when it comes to the goods and services you sell. This is why the best advertising on the planet has always been done with the long game in mind. Most are consistent advertising campaigns with multiple messages deployed over a 2 or 3 year period. This takes having a solid, steady plan and being consistent in your themes. Learn how to make your advertising into a long-term campaign at yumaadvertising.com.
Time for some smart saving. Make their dreams their reality.
I'm Arizona State Treasurer Kimberly Yee. Whatever your little one dreams of becoming, a doctor, a chef, a firefighter, they're going to need a plan and savings. Open an AZ 529 education savings plan, and you will be able to pay for their future education. Visit az529.gov and start saving to make their dream job come true.
Now that's smart saving.
Saturday, October 23rd, Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is back at Kokopah Casino. It's Yuma's favorite charity event, featuring Gary Allen, with special guests Coffee Anderson, Bobby McClendon, Tanner Gomes, and more. Tickets are available at CokopahResort.com and Boot Barn. Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is brought to you by these fine sponsors: El Dorado Broadcasters, Dell Outdoor, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona.
The Border Report brought to you by RV World, located on Gila Ridge Road. Exit Interstate 8 on Araby Road, then head west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. RV World, Yuma's premier recreational vehicle dealer since 1991, offering a large selection of new and used RVs. Here are the latest wait times for passenger vehicles in the standard lanes at our selected ports of entry. Algodones, 2 lanes open, a 30-minute wait. Calexico East, 2 lanes open with an hour wait. It's also an hour at Calexico West with 7 lanes open. San Luis, an hour and a half to cross with 2 lanes open. Get updated border reports anytime at yumadailynews.com.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. It's 7:50, Johnny. Dang, I'm glad I got another hour. But hey, Arizona Marketplace. It doesn't open till the 4th of next month, which is right around the corner. This month's almost half over, Johnny.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the 12th
It's
already.
the 12th. Yeah, look at that.
We're going. It's going quick. It's going quick. But look, they are looking. There are a few slots left for vendors. So if you're selling any goods or services, or ever thought like I'd really want to, like I'd like to get into that open air market, which is a lot of fun. They have restaurants there at the open air market, and there's always entertainment going on, magicians to musicians, both of them, and and that's how they get larger crowds. Like they're the busiest and biggest in Yuma, second largest in the entire state. So get over to Arizona and talk to them about becoming a vendor. And that's at 3351 South Avenue 4E. And their office is open. You pull up to the gate there and honk your horn or push the button to the whatever. And they'll see you and let you in. Or Suzanne, just give her a call, 928-328-1088, Arizona Marketplace. There's probably room for you. Always enjoy talking to new politicians and all that. I'll turn the phones. I haven't had the phones on very much, but
well, we've had a lot of calls, so that's why.
I've been kind of busy with all. I wanted to talk about John Gruden, but it would have been nice to talk to the Oakland Raider about John Gruden, but we'll get to that another day. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
St. George,
Hey,
Utah.
Hey, Mike from Utah. How are you, man?
It's raining all the way from Colorado, Wyoming, all the way down into Nevada. It's fixing to snow. First time of the season.
Well, good. You got to earn that big paycheck then. Good. What's on your
100 hours a week?
Yeah, what's on your mind, buddy?
Say, on Life, Liberty, and Levin, he talked about that FBI directive where President Biden wants the parents, the moms, policed ahead of basically crime. It's a priority.
Correct.
This is a good example of social justice policing, where you put other things ahead of crime. Let's say you have burglaries and holdups and theft, anything under $900. Don't call the police, but call us if you have a social justice, a mom at the school district.
It's politicizing and using the government agencies to go after your political enemies. And it's just horrible. It's like what Lois Lerner did with the IRS, weaponizing the damn agencies.
Well, when you hear about it on the news, social justice policing, people haven't connected what that means yet. What that means is if you have a burglary and you go down to the school district, the school district takes priority over, let's say, the burglary at your house. We're talking about local police. And the way they do that is in that new spending bill. You remember Edwards taught a few months ago on your show, don't look at how much that spending bill is. Look at what's tucked in those 2,500 pages.
Well, yeah, you need teams of lawyers to do that. But yes, you're exactly right. And what's tucked in there is scary stuff, everything from voting stuff to
So their idea of police reform is exactly what happens in the school districts. If you want a certification from us, federal government, you must meet our requirements. And one of the requirements, of course, is the social justice policing being placed ahead of criminal justice. And that's coming down the road inside of this bill that the turtle, McConnell, is helping to bring about.
You're right. And it doesn't even have to be spelled out in the bill, because if you remember right, just a few weeks ago, they bought a big hotel or a condo for homeless people and spent beyond market value, and they used COVID-19 money, just reappropriated. So they're just taking all this money that's been set aside, and they don't have to ask for permission for it. It's already been approved by Congress, and they're just turning it from COVID money into, let's buy a hotel in San Francisco and put homeless people in it.
Well, exactly. See, none of this stuff is defined. How do you define, how do you certify a police department when it hasn't been written yet? They get to write how it's certified.
Yeah.
Anyway, none of this is defined. You can change that. In the Biden presidency, yesterday is old news. We don't talk about yesterday, only today, and nothing is defined.
Mm-hmm. But that 3.5 billion or trillion, if that passes, they can't spend that money. I mean, that's so much money they couldn't even spend it in a year or two.
Well,
I mean,
at
that's
the
just
top of the go ahead.
It becomes a slush fund.
Thank you. And at the top of their number one priority is voting. See that
Yes.
voting law that didn't pass?
Yeah.
They're just doing it a different way.
They
through
want
the back door.
They want to nationalize it, take voting away from what we've had since the start of the country, which is mentioned in the Constitution. It can be changed, but constitutionally, the voters is written by the states.
Okay, Gavin Newsom voted in all those temporary COVID-19 as permanent law.
Correct.
That's what they're pushing through the DOJ and all the states. They're in courts. They're in their faces. They're spending that money from COVID money.
Yep.
Anywhere else they can get it from to change things. But that's what'll happen when Biden says this will change America. He says it on the news. He's not kidding.
It changes all chance of integrity. It changes all chance of making of validating the voting, because it could be stuffed. You could end up with double the votes as the population.
Well, okay. No one mentions there was 122 million voters in 2020 registered nationally.
Mm-hmm.
159 votes were turned in. So, tell me again, there is. This is all geared for a one-party system.
Correct.
That's the bottom line. We want a one-party system. So go ahead and play with your Facebook. Go ahead and do your big screen sporting events, and go ahead, go back to sleep. There's no problem here. Keep on moving.
Well, and they're selling themselves to get it. They're making deals with the radical left, thinking, okay, we'll get the one-party system, and then we'll just let the moderates take over again. That ain't going to happen.
Well, stranger things have happened. There's always that one shot in the dark nobody sees coming.
What's that?
Trump was that shot in the dark.
He was. And he was a surprise, and it shook him up. And they worked harder on this last election, making sure they had it.
He was closer to exposing and getting rid of that stuff than we realized.
Yes, the deep
look
state.
At how they reacted.
The deep state was coming out. But the press worked so hard to cover, and they've not slowed down yet. They prop up, Bernie over there. I know it's Joe Biden, but it's amazing how they prop him up. They never say anything negative.
On the news, I have heard the broken window policy, where you break the window, then you come by and say, if you don't want it to happen again, pay this amount of money into this account, whether it's a charity or some other fund.
That's extortion, you mean?
Yes, protection.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I can't think of an example of that, But then I saw that Buttigieg guy on Craig Gowdy on Sunday. He said, we can't fix any of these supply problems. It's all private.
Right.
At the beginning.
Yes, he did.
At the end, he said, if you vote for the bill,
then we'll fix it.
We'll make sure all those problems go away.
You're exactly right. It was the mob, man. It sounded like the mob.
Is that not a broken window mentality? First, we'll break the window.
Yeah.
If you vote for this bill and vote for this, we'll do this over here.
But he flat said he couldn't fix it. You're exactly right. I watched that. He said he can't fix it. And then a little while later, he said, but you vote for this, we'll fix it.
That's a good example of the broken window policy. We'll break the window, never let a disaster go to waste.
Yeah.
Then you'll pay us to fix it.
I'm out of time. I'm kicking you off, man. I got to go. See you. Bye-bye. It's already top of the hour. We'll be back. AM 560, KBLU.
Tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more.
From the 1 hour air conditioning and heating studio, this is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
A gloomier economic forecast. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The International Monetary Fund is slightly downgrading its outlook for the world's economic recovery from the coronavirus pandemic. It predicts 6% growth in the United States, down from 7% in the last forecast. The decrease is due to the number of COVID-19 cases still being high, supply shortages, and rising inflation because of that.
Here at the White House, they've had a supply chain task force going for several months, and one of the task force's big ideas about fixing things is the same idea that they had to try to restart the economy months ago. Just get more people COVID shots. This task force is saying we are in a stronger position than March 2020, but it requires continued vigilance. If we can stabilize the pandemic, it will have a positive impact on the global supply chain, including factories and production.
Fox's Peter Ducey. President Biden's met remotely today with leaders of the G20 group of nations to talk about Afghanistan. The White House, in a statement, says they reaffirmed their commitment to provide humanitarian assistance directly to the Afghan people and to promote human rights there. The FBI bomb squad checked out a suspicious package in the Pentagon parking lot this morning, finding something with wires and a light. They hit it with a water cannon and say there's no more threat. It's not clear if it was actually a bomb. A National Football League head coach is out of a job over personal emails.
John Gruden formally announced his resignation as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders shortly after a bombshell New York Times report featuring vulgar emails from Gruden over the past decade, featuring derogatory remarks regarding NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, female officials, and gay athletes, just to name a few. Gruden adding in his statement, quote, "I love the Raiders and do not want to be a distraction. Thank you to all the players, coaches, staff, and fans of Raider Nation. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt anyone."
Fox's Matt Napolitano. The Supreme Court leaves a federal ban on cockfighting in Puerto Rico in place, also turning away a challenge to a law in Washington state allowing unions to obtain contact information for in-home healthcare workers to ask them to join. America's listening to Fox News.
Big news from Simply Safe Home Security. Okay. Actually, I think the horns are too much. Yeah, that's better. Big news! The new wireless outdoor security camera is here. Yes, Simply Safe's award-winning home security just got even better, taking whole home protection to a whole new level. Okay, I'm missing the horns. Simply Safe is celebrating this new camera with 30% off a new system this week. Visit simplysafe.com.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Your historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but when matched with an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan officer and ask about our 27-year Smart Term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched with a great loan by calling 866-888-LOAN or visit LoanDepot.com. At Loan Depot, home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in...
Morning News is brought to you by Sprague Sports on 32nd Street, Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters and responsible gun ownership since 1956.
Local news from HDDailyNews.com is brought to you by Bridget's Gift. Help us help our Yuma friends fighting breast cancer by joining us for our 10th annual Western Dance and Barbecue at Cocopa Casino, featuring Gary Allen.
Here's the news in 60 seconds, YumaDailyNews.com. Last month, the USDA announced the details of the Pandemic Market Volatility Assistance Program for dairy farmers. See how that impacted dairies in Yuma on our website. Yuma's Most Wanted is now up on the website. You can find out this week's lineup of suspects that authorities want to see behind bars. The rap sheets have been included. Take a look, YumaDailyNews.com. An update to a drive-by shooting earlier this month in Yuma County. 3 people have now been arrested. Read the story, YumaDailyNews.com. Spooky season is in full swing, and the scary and safe trick-or-treat is returning to the fairgrounds this Halloween, starting at 4 p.m. Admission is only $1 per person, or you can get the Fast Pass for $5. All proceeds are going to be donated to the Arizona Law Enforcement Torch Run for the Special Olympics. Keep sending those ideas for local stories to us via email to newsroom At yumadailynews.com, we'll take a look. For now, that's the news. I'm Andrew Caravella.
You may be right. I may be crazy. Oh, but it just may be.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark back with you. It's our last hour, you know.
It is.
8:04. I don't know. I kind of like the last hour because it's relaxing somehow, Johnny. Johnny's with me.
Good.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about all the black folks that aren't black who didn't vote for Joe. It looks like he's trying to get back at him with this big cut on the HBCU. He's going from $45 billion down to $2 billion on the grant. That's a pretty big cut.
Really? I wonder why he's doing that.
I don't know, but you haven't heard too much about it. It's not like up there front page on the news, but it's he's because he's on a big spending thing, but he says he's proposing from $45 billion down to $2 billion grant for HBCU. So I don't know how that's gonna. It's part. Trump raised that grant up to 45. And I guess maybe it's just part of undoing everything that Trump did.
Well, it must be bad if Trump did it. That's all right.
Yeah, I think he's kind of shooting himself in the foot on that one. I mean,
I know he's trying to destroy the country, but he's trying to destroy himself.
Kind of racist.
It is. He is racist. I appreciate the call, man.
Yep.
Thanks. Of course, those don't know HBCUs, historical black college universities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I'm a graduate of an HBCU.
You are.
Yeah, I mean, it shocks a lot of people. I mean, that I graduated. I don't know what Joe's trying to accomplish because nothing makes sense. He is completely digging himself a hole. In fact, Edward sent me the latest poll numbers on Joe Biden, and they continue to slide. Let's see if I can pull some of these out. People expecting to return to normal life, for COVID and all that, take more than a year has tripled from 9% to 30%. So 30% of the people think it's going to be at least more than a year. Used to be 9%.
Yeah, but the way they work, they just want to dwindle those numbers down further and further until we never go back to normal.
Well, they do, yeah. They keep changing the goalposts.
Yeah, Fauci, I don't know if you can get together for Christmas this year. Again, he says that.
He's back now, okay. He just said yesterday, he said Halloween's okay now as well as the rest of the holidays.
He said they're okay?
Yesterday, yeah. So thank goodness.
Oh, wow.
St. Fauci now is my friend. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hi, Russ.
Yes, sir.
Joseph.
Joseph, how are you?
How you guys doing?
We's doing well.
We's guys doing well.
Hey, you had Mr. Jerome on just a little while ago.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the foothills at a restaurant, but nobody mentioned the restaurant.
Well, because I forgot it for a second, but I have it now. And it's going to be Jimmy K's at 5 p.m.
Jimmy K's at 5.
Yep.
All right, brother. I'll see you there.
I think it's worth the trip, man. You take care. Bye-bye.
No kidding. Yes. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think it is worth it. He sounds like a great guy.
He does.
Yeah, I want to talk to him. You know how those preachers are. You know, they know how to talk to a crowd. That's pretty good. Oh, while I'm talking about polls, Edward, he's my fact checker, sending me more. More Americans think Biden cheated. A total of 56% of respondents are convinced it's likely that cheating affected the outcome of the 2020 presidential election. Now, 56%, Johnny, just for those, listening that may not understand percentages, it's more than half.
That's I'm glad you cleared that up for some of the listeners that don't understand math.
More than half the people think that it's cheated. So I think that's an urgent enough issue that all the politicians should be involved in voter integrity to make sure that those people feel comfortable and confident in the voting system, right?
Russ, there's certain politicians that don't care because cheating is how they get in.
Cheating is victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They want to get it looser and looser. They want to make it so all kinds of craziness can happen on the voting day.
But there are some still people with head in the sand. They say 39% of the people said it wasn't likely the election was affected by cheating. So we still have, less than half, but 39%, think it was not affected. And those are the diehards. Don't bring attention to the cheating. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, it's working for us. 84% of Republican voters believe it is at least somewhat likely that cheating affected the outcome. Well, good for those Republicans.
You know what's scarier is to believe that people actually voted for this man. That's scarier than to believe in there's cheating. Serious.
Probably. But look, part of I think that convinces people that there is something likely cheating is they are so aggressively trying to stop anyone from looking at the results. Like, don't audit, don't look. Let's shred stuff. They just shredded stuff again in Georgia yesterday. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, voter registrations. There were people turning in for the upcoming election. They fired 2 people for shredding. Now, firing like, oh, well, that's terrible. I got fired. Oh, well, so what? It's a part-time job, probably. Should they go to jail for treason or something? You know, well, if they're going to look at it now, the FBI. You know, we trust those guys.
Oh, those guys?
Yeah,
they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Well.
More whites than black voters think it's at least likely that cheating affected the outcome. I don't believe that. I mean, historically, the community of blacks don't trust the government.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're the least vaccinated population. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know.
That's why Biden had everyone fired, because he's racist.
Yes. And it's racism working in disguise.
Let's take a phone call. Oh. Wow.
You said Biden was racist. They hung up. No, I'm just kidding.
No patience. You got to be patient. I'm going to get to you. If I answer the phone, I'll finish my thought and then I'll say hello. So, you know, the latest Rasmussen survey also found that 65% of likely voters believe that the wider use of mail-in voting will lead to more cheating. Well, and I think that's true based on how they handle the mail-in voters. You know, we didn't have any double checks. We didn't even check
signatures and
nothing. You know, it just came in. So you literally could steal ballots out of someone's mailboxes, mail it in.
And mail it in. Yep.
And a lot of people I know went to vote, you know, OG being one of them.
And
went to vote and they said, well, you can't, sir, because you've already mailed in your ballot. He says, I don't have a mail-in ballot.
Yeah. So
that's become anecdotally
It's
common.
obvious. It's obvious that those that pay attention, the mail-in ballots, the way that in California, you know, going into only mail-in ballots, it's obvious that there's a reason for it.
I think mail-in ballots can become more secure if they built in integrity,
the proper
and security.
systems,
Yeah,
the proper systems to be able to handle them, but
they don't have it. They don't have any interest in it.
And they don't have interest in it because the people that don't have interest in it benefit from it. That's just the way life works. You got to look at where the benefit lies and why things happen or don't happen.
What percentage of Democrats, only Democrats, what percentage of Democrats currently have at least a fair amount of trust in Biden?
Ooh, I don't know.
81%. That just seems like how can you guys are you not paying attention? Are you not watching? I don't think he's told us the truth on most things. But that's down from 88% in June. So it is going down. And sometimes people answer these polls, they say, well, I'm a Democrat, so I'm supporting. You know, the truth doesn't. I mean, the truth is I support him, so no matter what you say, I'm going to say something positive. I'm going to say the positive. But I would assume that happens on both sides.
Yeah, no, it definitely happens on both sides.
Yeah. It's just wouldn't happen. I'm going to tell the truth.
What's that?
If I'm in a poll, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not going to.
Yeah, but I'm saying
it goes against the party I believe in. I'm going to tell the truth.
Yeah, but it happens on and Trump was enough of a polarizing figure that.
Well, I say the press on Trump was polarizing more so than the man. I mean, he didn't hold back. There's no question he didn't hold back.
Yeah.
But they exaggerated.
Oh, for sure.
And they pushed it harder and they took it out of context in some cases and all that stuff. And they only told negatives about it.
Well, yeah, they call him a fascist and then they get a fascist in office. So
yeah, exactly. So they created a lot of the polarization.
Sure.
I don't put all that on Trump. I put a lot of that on the press. And good for them, man. Look how powerful they are. They successfully lied enough to create some changes of mind. Hey, John Gruden resigns from the Raiders. I was totally shocked. He resigned because of some emails that happened before he was a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like they dug some stuff up from his past. That he had some emails that were, misogynistic, homophobic, some racist and stuff, where he was having private emails with people. Now, when I read some of his stuff, see, I would not write any of this.
Oh, you read his emails?
Yeah, some of them are here. A lot of this happened before he was coach, and I don't know how much I'd put someone's feet to the fire other than I'd want to know more about you. I don't know that I would say, wow, you did this 30 years ago. Like Kavanaugh, they said, Kavanaugh, you did something 30 years ago that nobody remembers exactly, but you should not be. Well, that was ridiculous. And some of this stuff happened, before he signed his 10-year, $100 million contract that he just resigned from. 10 years, $100 million, just resigned. And he's a good coach. But he said, he was saying something about he pressured St. Louis Rams coach Jeff Fisher to draft queers, Like I would write something like that myself. I would not use that terminology. Now, that terminology is accepted because the HBTQ community, I mean, they
That's
call
the
them,
Q. That's
they
the
call
Q.
themselves
So
queers.
I don't understand what's wrong with that. I don't understand. That's the Q in it.
I'm still hesitant because I grew up with it being derogatory. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't write that stuff even to, somebody like a friend. I wouldn't. I just would be careful.
Okay.
But not that I think anyone's going to find it or I'm going to ruin my political career or anything. I just don't do it. But he resigned. He denounced the emergence of female referees, which is okay. I mean, he has an opinion that.
Yeah, that's an opinion. So they're attacking opinion. I don't see anything wrong with either of those two, but
I don't see that as wrong. Because the referees or some of the first ones came out. He criticized, mocked, the newspaper reported that Gruden wrote that former All-Pro defensive back Eric Reed should be fired for protesting during the national anthem. I don't disagree with that either.
So it's not that even agree or disagree. I just don't disagree with somebody letting his opinion be known, or so I don't see what's wrong with those.
And then he wrote, DeBoer Smith has lips the size of Michelin tires. Maybe it's true.
Yeah, whatever. He's being funny.
And maybe the guy has a physical characteristic of large lips. I don't know. Maybe someone sees it as racist. Maybe he's black and something like that. But but not everyone black has big lips.
No,
I don't. And then I know some people not black that have big lips, but to say they're like Michelin tires is to a friend or something.
Yeah, it sounds like.
I mean, there was nothing egregious in here, like he's going to kill somebody or he hates somebody or something like that.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't read them. I didn't know anything. I just saw it,
but not acceptable, politically correct or at all.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, listen, guys.
Yeah.
OG here.
Yeah, OG.
Yeah, the foundation of this country, as you know, should know, is the small businesses of America. They employ more people than anybody.
That is correct.
All right. That being said, people need to understand that and know what Biden is doing. Edward did a great job describing the transition to fascism. That's what he did.
Yes.
Hope he's listening.
Yeah.
If he disagrees, call you back and tell you he disagrees. And fascism is coming fast and strong. Americans better wake up. I'm going to try to make it out and meet Jerome today.
Yeah.
I'm going to try. I ain't saying I'm going.
Well, I just found out I can't go. I got Jim tonight, and I just going to interfere, so I'm going to try to catch him in town if I can, because I'd like to meet the man. He sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does. And but anyway, Biden's 81% Democrats supporting him. Well, if you're a communist, you're looking at it from the wrong point of view. If you're a communist, you would support him, and you would be one of those 81% of the Democratic Communist people that support him. Yeah. Now, that being said, the poll, they rigged the poll themselves, you know that. So if they come out with a poll, that means it's a rigged poll to say he's distasteful. He's losing in the polls. And that is for a reason, because they're getting close to that 25th Amendment to take him out and put old Kamala in there or somebody. That's what they're doing. They do not want him around to run again, because the damage that he's doing, they don't want that man in the race to be blamed because he won't get elected with that. Now, But even though if they got the vote counters bought and paid for, okay?
Yeah.
Because they still got to rule the American people, the disgruntled American people. They still got to rule them. But to appease them, they will pretend that they canned him. And we got Kamala now, and she's going to say all the wonderful, beautiful things that most people will want to hear. Oh, she will. And being the first American president and all this kind of first black woman, the counters will be there to accommodate the vote count. Trust me, because we're not going to win nothing. We're not going to win the House, and we're not winning the Senate because the Republicans only number 36 million strong, registered Republicans. The Democrats number 48 million strong. Right now, I don't see any Republican honcho campaigning to register voters, and that's what they need to do if they're serious about winning next year. They're not serious. They're all in this together because the government that you've got, folks, is a government by your elected officials that you voted for. Don't you forget that. That's the government that you got. And if you want to change it, you got to change at the election if they'll let you. So that means you better get activated now and go and line yourself up to be a poll watcher. If it takes 24/7 to stay there and with a chance, you got to do it.
I agree.
But people are not going to do that, Russ.
Some will. I think some people are ready, buddy.
Yeah, but some won't do it because you got to remember, you got 340 million people in this country. 324 is what they try to tell you, but they're lying about that too. Oh, and if anybody watched football, did you notice? It totally contradicts old Biden and old freaking Newsom's and mandates for wearing masks and stuff, that nobody in those stadiums except a couple of reporters was wearing masks over the weekend. And those were packed stadiums, folks.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Did you see them wearing masks? I didn't.
No,
and
very
did you
few.
hear yesterday about people catching the flu and dying already? I haven't. So these people are lying to you about that vaccine. I'm telling you, I'm not taking it. Yeah. I'm not going to get it on record. There ain't no way they're going to jab me. Because I do not want to grow a tail or go blind or whatever. I don't.
I think you're safe. They're not going to catch you.
Well, there's a pharmaceutical company, McKesson, in San Francisco, where they were leading the pack on the opium epidemic a couple of years ago, 50,000 and 60,000 dead. And no one shut them down. So I'm thinking they want us dead. That's your death panel at work right now. But it's stealth. It's a stealth panel. But anyway, don't let it depress you no more than that.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Bye.
He talks about Kamala Harris maybe taking over Joe. Nobody's going to vote for her.
Oh, you're talking about the
sinking ship Harris? It ain't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she may win. I mean, if they really are padding the votes and cheating on the votes, why don't they just go, he's received 99%? Just go all the way.
That's super not believable, but
that's what they do in Russia.
Well, that's
Putin
Russia.
99%.
Russia does things a little bit different than us.
I don't think it's that different anymore. It's changing.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, but I think it's been different for a while. We're just kind of waking up to it. We're seeing what's going on. Like I said, and like I always say, Bush is the one that put the Patriot Act in place. So
now we didn't talk about this Southwest yet very much. I mean, I mentioned a little bit, but the Southwest is canceled, 30% of their flights or something or more. And they're blaming it on
weather conditions,
weather and air traffic, which is a lie, but that way they get out of paying for the tickets or something like that. And what they did is they firing people that don't get the vaccine.
Yeah, well, they have a mandate and a date.
Yeah,
so they didn't fire anybody yet, but
they're already. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're quitting or
people are they're demanding. Yeah, they're calling in sick, demanding that something changes.
Well, Edward just sent me this that the Wall Street Journal just published a story that Southwest CEO says he never wanted a COVID mandate, but Biden forced his hand.
Which is not true, but
that is.
No, it's not true because
that is.
No,
Why would
how
you
would
think
I say this? That is not true because the mandate isn't in place yet. Now they're able to use that as an excuse right now, but they don't have the mandate. It doesn't go. It's not forward.
But you're talking about the mandate force hand. No, he's saying Biden force hand, not the mandate. That's different.
Okay.
Biden forces hand because he can hold things over you. There's a lot of government contracts, a lot of government subsidies, a lot of other things. And if Biden picks up the phone and says, "Do it,"
oh, okay, Maybe that then. Okay.
He writes, I've never been in favor of corporations imposing that kind of mandate. I'm not in favor of that. And that's Southwest Airlines CEO Gary Kelly, who told that on CNBC on Tuesday. However, Kelly and the Dallas-based carrier is nevertheless complying with federal rules put in place by Biden administration. The objective here obviously is to improve health safety, not for people to lose their jobs, Kelly said. But I think that mandate came from I think that mandate's already in effect for airlines, is it not?
From what I heard, no, but
well, I mean,
people are still using
coming.
it. It's coming, so
yeah.
they're already
using it to call in sick or not show up and demonstrate, protest.
And people calling in, I think they have the right to do that, and push back is good. And
but how powerful is that the CEO Gary Kelly comes out and says,
"That's great.
I didn't want this. I was forced by Biden." You think he's going to get a phone call or two with a White House area code?
Yes,
bet so. I'll bet it's happened already.
Mm-hmm. Which because
you can't say that about the big guy.
No, and they had like certain media outlets calling these people domestic terrorists, these pilots. Did you see that?
Does not surprise me. I did not see it.
Yeah, some smaller blog media outlets were calling these pilots domestic terrorists for not flying.
Anything you do against the state, meaning Biden
mm-hmm.
and the fascist regime,
mm-hmm.
you're a terrorist.
You're a terrorist now.
In fact, even if you're a mom that wants the best books for his kids in public schools, terrorist.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought we'd be here today, Johnny?
We're here, and they're doing it. But I'm glad these people are standing up for what they believe. These pilots, and
I've got a story here about Joshua Yoder. He's a pilot that was interviewed yesterday by Tucker Carlson. I'll tell you about that after I get back. I'm going to take a break. AM 560 KBLU.
Temperatures running rather cool for this time of year, 10 to 15 degrees below what we would typically expect. Today's the coolest day, 74. Starting to warm up tomorrow, 79. By Thursday, 83. There is a lot of confusion about COVID-19, but one thing we know for sure, vaccines aren't enough. Check for fever, COVID's #1 symptom, with the Exergen temporal scanner, and learn more at Exergen.com. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith from the Weather Channel.
Weather is brought to you by Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros, with 4 locations to serve all of your tire needs.
Be sure to listen for the border and traffic reports weekdays on this station, brought to you by RV World. They have a large selection of both new and used RVs. Exit Interstate 8 at Araby Road, then west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. That's RV World.
Saturday, October 23rd, Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is back at Kokopah Casino. It's Yuma's favorite charity event, featuring Gary Allen, with special guests Coffey Anderson, Bobby McClendon, Tanner Gomes, and more. Tickets are available at CokopahResort.com and Boot Barn. Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is brought to you by these fine sponsors: El Dorado Broadcasters, Dell Outdoor, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona.
Think you know about meth? Think again. Today's methamphetamine is far more potent, more addictive, and more deadly than ever before. Today's meth is often laced with the deadly drug fentanyl. In fact, deaths from meth use have doubled in Arizona. What can you do? Get the facts at thenewmeth.com and know there's hope and resources for recovery. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Time for some smart saving. Put money aside, not your child's future education.
I'm Arizona State Treasurer Kimberly Yee. The sooner you start an AZ 529 education savings plan, the more money you'll have when your little one graduates high school. Invest just $15 a month and you could have thousands of dollars saved for their education needs. Go to az529.gov so when it's time to achieve their dreams, they can.
Now that's smart saving.
Contest rules for all giveaways and contests on 560 KBLU can be viewed and downloaded at our website, kbluam.com.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark back with you. Johnny Porter's in studio.
Mm-hmm.
What I talked about this pilot, Joshua Yoder. He's a co-founder of U.S. Freedom Flyers. I guess they got together. They had to band together, band of brothers. You know, he was on Fox News on Monday. And he said pilots and other staff should not be forced to submit to an injection of unwanted pharmaceuticals at the order of their government. Perfect, and I think most people will agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some very vocal groups that will yell at you. It's selfish. You're killing babies. You know, those kind of things.
All kinds of nonsense.
Yeah, or they'll make up the reasons on why you're saying it. You know, like the letter to the editor
Like
this
that
morning.
letter you read.
Joshua says my motive for resisting is primarily religious for myself.
Okay,
good. Then you should buy that and accept it at face value. It's religious for him. Among my friends, I saw a need. Many of us don't want to take this. People were being coerced. I believe in freedom, and I'm here to support the freedom of my fellow employees and all the people across this country. I'm not going to take a mandate. I'm not going to be forced to do something I don't believe in. If you have flights reduced by 30% because 30% of the pilots are fired because they won't take the vaccine, this is going to affect how your goods get here from overseas and how they're distributed to the stores. Same thing is happening with the truckers, which we've talked to truckers that won't get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening in the shipping industry. Those Amazon boxes that typically take up to 2 days, you might be looking at 3 weeks. And he's right. Tucker Carlson commented that the entire situation would have been avoidable had it not been for a purge overseen by Susan Rice of unvaccinated Americans. And that's true. Said nothing whatsoever to do with public health and everything to do with the accumulation of political power.
Yep.
I do believe that. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you today?
We're doing well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Johnny.
Good morning, man.
Who do we report domestic terrorists to if we suspect that somebody is a domestic terrorist? Who would report that to?
FBI. That'd be cool. Go to a board meeting for the high school and then call the FBI. I got to report a terrorist. Johnny said a bad word and upset a board member.
Well, no, I think the terrorists are these idiots that are at the White House. They're holding us hostage. With this $3.5 trillion budget. I mean, they're holding us out and putting us out to dry, and they don't care. You know, when you start looking at their net worth, where they're at, the investments that they have in the pharmaceutical company. I mean, who's not going to push pharmaceuticals if you have an investment in it? Of course, they want everybody to be vaccinated. I'm a shareholder of that company.
Pharmaceuticals are one of the largest contributors to campaigns.
Well, apart from that, our politicians are also heavily invested in the stock market with them too. Probably. So they get it from both ends. No, it's not. Probably they are. I can't tell you which ones, but I can tell you that they print out or they publish a guide of how much investments our politicians have, and the ones that Pfizer and the other one Moderna, those two companies have seen probably 500% increase in investments from people in the White House.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just
lobbying alone. You know, they're one of the biggest. I got a report here. It says they spent $4.7 billion in 2018. Wait a minute. Oh no, that's 1999 to 2018. So that's over 20 years. 4.7 billion, 233 million per year on lobbying the U.S. federal government. And
that's not to count. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh well, 414 million on contributions to presidential and congressional electoral candidates a year. 414 million a year. Pretty high stuff. Pretty big numbers.
I mean, I would think that if somebody wanted to lobby somebody, I mean, if you're going to lobby somebody or you want to push your product, I mean, I don't see how going to Washington to give all that money is. You go to the doctors and give them the samples, and the doctors look at it and get educated and give the samples, and they see how it works. And there's a lot of money spent that way too.
Used to be even more.
It's a hoax. It's a hoax. They're terrorists. They're terrorizing us. They've got us bent over right now. I'm not going to say every American or every
But
most Americans right now are watching what they spend and how they spend it.
Yeah, here's your problem
the
with
uncertainty of what's going to go on. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Here's your problem with the terrorist angle, though, because right now the definition of terrorist is controlled by the executive branch. He's the one that's defining terrorists and what they are, and he's not defining Black Lives Matter as terrorists. He's defining parents as terrorists.
Well, and even then, they're so blatant. Washington is so blatant. They really don't give a darn anymore about us, and they really don't care what we think about them.
True.
At all. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see, yeah, we are domestic terrorists, but guess what? Us 500 we're exempt from being a terrorist in any way because, I mean, we're exempt from taking the vaccine, but we want everybody else to take the vaccine. It's sad that nobody has been down to the border to see what's going on. And you know what? And that's okay. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe you can't find the time. Maybe going to a bakery and saying la 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 to a bunch of preschool kids is more important than what's going on down there. And if that's the case, fine. But you know what? Send the support in the form of the money that's needed to continue building the wall. Send the support to your Border Patrol that, you know what, you're doing a job that you were employed to do. I don't think the job description has changed from what it is, all of a sudden. So, give them the tools they need to do the job. You don't need to be down there. God knows none of them have. And I'm tired of hearing, oh, thank you for serving our country. No, it's not thank you for serving our country. You're employed by us. Thanks for being an employee sounds more correct than thank you for serving your country. None of them people up there have served our country not talking military wise, but in the form of so-called being a politician. Yeah. They haven't served us. They've helped themselves.
He's not going to build the wall. In fact, he paid much more money to not build it than if he'd have just finished it. He bought all the contracts at an exorbitant fee so that it would not have to be built. So he paid them much more money to stop it than he would have to finish it.
And this, maybe once again, I didn't listen to Howard Blitz more often, or maybe I just didn't pay attention when I was going to school as far as that. But my God, King Biden, I mean, who made him a king? We always talked about, everybody said that our President Trump was a dictator.
Right.
But this man just decides, he goes to bed and I don't know what land or what he dreams or what medicine he takes to go to sleep. But, oh my gosh, he must have some pretty photographic dreams or whatever, because he wakes up with a different idea and in a whole different place every day. And he makes these laws, just throws it out there. Hey, today we're going to do this.
Yep.
Let's see. It's like he sits there and says, what am I going to go screw up today? What cog am I going to go stick my wrench in?
It certainly feels like that, doesn't it? I mean, it does. It feels like that. It feels like he's trying to destroy every chunk of that he can to build back better, but got to destroy everything. And he's in the middle of it right now.
I think sometimes when people run for an office, and I always, people always, oh, I'm going in there because I'm going to make changes, or I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do something. It's sad that you never hear somebody say, I'm running because I want to go in there and continue to build on what's been done. I mean, if it's a positive thing, but I mean, looking at it positive, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, there are not things that need to be destroyed to make better. I mean, you already got the platform. You could run with it. He had every opportunity to go in there and prove everybody that he was going to sell them this bill of goods that he sold them, that he was going to come through. But Democrat Party, I laugh because the goods that they were selling on last year certainly have not arrived yet. Maybe they're out there on one of those cargo ships coming from another country or whatever. But that they haven't fulfilled any promises other than to go in and destroy and try to make us, I think, a one government country.
They lied to us.
It's not going to happen.
They lied to us.
Well, everyone up there that moves their lips is lying, I think, most of the time.
I don't think so.
But anyways, let's pray for our country. I mean, let's pray that, I don't know, that something, God, interject and come through. Because, it's even sad that you don't see, and I'm not going to say all, but there are very, very few religious or whether they're a priest or a preacher or a pastor or whatever they want to label themselves for their IRS non-tax or tax exempt status. But where are they at? Why don't they come out and they're instead they want to promote illegal activities by coming into our country illegally. I mean, and that's I guess that maybe if we give money to when you tithe or when you give your money to your church, I guess does that make us? I mean, and the church is participating in abating and helping these people that come in here illegally. Are we a co-conspirator because we're funding the money?
Yep, I think you are, and I know people that stopped giving money to the Catholic Church for that reason.
I think the church and the community has an obligation first and foremost to its congregation and then to its community.
Yeah.
And I think if a church looked at it objectively, it's one thing when something happens within our community that, whatever it is that we're able to stand by there and help them. And trust me, I don't mean that these are, animals that are coming in, but you can't come in this way. There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And you got to follow the steps. And if you don't, well, you're going to get what you get.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate the call.
Have a great morning.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. And it's not hopeless, Johnny. We still have to fight for this.
Yep.
And that comes into the voter booth, and we need to make sure we have laws that are going to support integrity. Because there's people plotting right now to keep the chaos going, to where you don't check voting records, you don't check signatures.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the night, you can drop millions of votes in the middle of the night, those kind of things. And we need to stand up to it and make sure that just doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and we got to make sure, like, our politicians, I believe there's a lot of good-hearted politicians out there that are telling the truth. We got to make sure they continue to do that, and we've got to support them in their fight to do that.
Greg Abbott's causing problems again. Texas governor.
I like him.
He just issued his executive order banning any entity in the state from enforcing a COVID-19 vaccine mandate.
And no, I think it's any mandate, right? Any COVID any COVID mandate, correct? Or is it just?
It says COVID. This says COVID-19 vaccine mandate.
Oh, okay.
He said the COVID-19 vaccine is safe, effective, and our best defense against the virus, but should remain voluntary, never forced.
Oh, okay.
Good for him. He said that on Monday on a press release. His executive order prohibits any entity in the state. Now, Southwest is stationed in Dallas, so they've got a mandate coming. I mean,
well, maybe they can't do it in Dallas. 10th Amendment, right? States' rights.
I mean, that's a company that's in Texas.
So that's going to open up some,
and we'll find out. The order applies to both employees and consumers who refuse to receive the vaccine due to religious belief or for medical reasons, including prior recovery from COVID-19. The order will also supersede any conflicting order that has already been made by local jurisdictions, authorizing the maximum fine allowing under Texas law for any entity that fails to comply with this order. I support it.
I support him. I got to say something, right? So I'm a libertarian. A lot of my friends are libertarian, and they take issue with this, right? Because it's another government overreach over private businesses that want to take it, So it's like, but these are strange times, right? These are strange times where at least this governor's sticking up for people that have religious objection. I don't have a religious objection, but some people do, and I got to honor it. I got to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
You talk domestic terrorists. That's what's in the White House and the Democrat Party. They're the domestic terrorists.
You're not the first to say it, Ronnie. I think you got good company.
I mean, look what's going on. Look what they're doing to us. Let me say something. I got about three things to say, and then I'll get off. Okay. Number one, this guy, Biden, and whoever it is, absolutely hate this country, and they hate the people here. Why do I say that? Look how much money, billions of dollars he left over in Afghanistan and some sophisticated equipment, aircraft and everything else, right?
Secret stuff, yeah.
Then I see last night all the material for the border fence just piled up in the desert in Texas, just laying there.
Yep.
I think I said it was $100 million worth of stuff.
Yep.
Then you see him attacking, people that are sticking up to their school board, calling Americans domestic terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
These people hate us. I'm telling you, they're out to destroy us, and they're doing their best. And I'm glad to see there's a lot of people waking up. I saw this thing that's going on in the schools, and the people standing up to the school board. There was a black woman, and I have to use that term because she was good. And she says she thinks the only thing that'll wake them up if there is a mass exodus from the public school system.
Yep. And
I'd love to see that. I'd just love to see that.
And there should be.
Say.
Parents should be taking their kids out of some of those schools. Just take them right out.
Boy, and what's going on now? Newsom's banning lawnmowers, gas lawnmowers in California.
Yeah.
Then he's got some other crackpot thing that's got to do with condoms. And you have all this other, that guy, I wish they'd have gotten rid of him, honestly. I mean, for that state.
Well,
but let me go on to
they deserve what they asked for, you know what I mean?
Yes. And what you guys were talking about in the first half of the show, the moon landing, I do believe we landed on the moon. These conspiracy theorists, a lot of them are people that weren't even born at the time. And if that's the case, why did we risk faking it 6 more times?
12.
Right?
It was 12 times total. And there's pictures of it. There's
right.
you get a telescope
landing,
and see the
sure.
Oh, that's right. Not every one of them landed.
There was a fellow here. I don't know whatever happened, old Jack there, but he used to work for NASA and was working on that and was in communication with the astronauts. He had helped design the hydraulic systems in the spacecraft.
Yeah.
And he was just so infuriated. This is several years ago when they started. They got that from that movie Capricorn 1.
Okay.
It had O.J. Simpson and I think James Bowen was in it, somebody else, when they were supposed to go to Mars, and they found out at the last minute they wouldn't be able to make it there, and they faked the whole thing. Next thing you know, the CIA is after them, and they're killing them off one by one. That was in the early 70s. That's where all that crap came from.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the last thing I'll say is this.
Yeah.
The biggest hypocrisy took place yesterday as Nancy Pelosi met with the Pope.
That looks strange. That was such a weird video. She was
now,
so...
I'm going to tell you something else.
Yeah.
The moron is supposed to meet with the Pope the end of the month.
Biden?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Now, I'll tell you something else.
What?
Sometime, I think the beginning of November is when the American bishops are going to get together to discuss whether to give these pro-abortion people communion or not at the communion rail, whether to ban them from going to get communion.
Well, right now, it's been a lot of, local parishes and stuff have said, no, we're not doing it.
And I don't blame them. And I don't know what's going on. What's the Pelosi doing over there? Congress is in session right now, right?
I don't know.
I think they are. Sure they are.
Okay.
And
they have to be.
They're saying, the abortion thing is real big right now. It's raging on, and she's over there with the Pope.
That's right.
That was strange. Ray Arroyo last night said the same thing. He says, that's really strange what she's doing over there. And like I said, the end of the month, the moron's supposed to go over there also.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that's strange? I'm trying to get some context on why that's strange.
Me, I think it's a strange time for her to go over there, and I'm wondering why. Why is she going over there to talk to the Pope when we have all these issues going on in this country? The same as where's Kamala Harris? The big borders are, it's almost the same situation. I guess if she was on her own and on vacation, that's one thing. But what's she doing going over there now? Talking with the Pope of all people.
That doesn't make sense.
Maybe, what's she trying to do? Get forgiveness somehow? Well, there's only one person that can really give forgiveness, and we know who that is.
So do But don't you think the Pope is kind of on their team?
No.
No.
Do I?
Yeah.
In a sense, in some respects, yes. I mean, there's a lot of Catholics that aren't too pleased with him. And
yeah,
you're
I see
one of them right
I see
now.
a big difference between, a lot of my family's Catholic and the Pope, the direction the Pope wants to go, and normal mainstream Catholics. So I see a big rift.
Well,
so,
I'm one of them, but
so there you go.
A lifelong Catholic here, I like John Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Pope John Paul. I liked him. This guy here, I don't know. The first thing that turned me off is several years ago when he starts talking about global climate change. And I'm saying, what the heck are you getting involved in that for?
Yeah, he seems like he has a political agenda, and that's why she's there. That's why Joe's going to meet with him, because he's a powerhouse and he has a lot of pull, and it seems like he has an agenda, or people backing him have an agenda, and they're using him as a, prop.
Well,
but
there was something wrong with when Benedict resigned and he went in there. I don't know if that's ever happened. But if you look at the history of some of them popes, there have been some pretty bad. The Borgias, they were really bad. They were even perverted, some of them. If you look at the history of some of the popes, there were bad popes. And they're only human. They're not God. I never even, as a Catholic, Catholic school and the whole 9 yards, I never looked at the Pope like he was God. To me, he seemed like the president, like the head of the church on earth here, That's what he seemed like to me. I never looked at him, and I never used the term Holy Father either.
Yeah, so from the outside,
I call him the Pope or whatever.
From the outside looking in, it looks like he has an agenda. So,
and I think you're right. And I don't like what I'm seeing and hearing, and there's a lot of people that aren't real pleased. What's going on? He's getting too political, and he shouldn't be doing that.
Appreciate the call, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now, of course, it was Big Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie ran out of pizza boxes. He had to get some that were pre-stamped to Big Jimmy's.
Yeah,
so
Jimmy's.
He sent one over to me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's nice of
course, then we bought a bunch of them for the crew. Hey, gunshots ring out near the vigil for fallen Arizona Sheriff's deputy. And his deputy that was recently killed there in Maricopa, he was escorting a prisoner, remove the handcuffs of his, on Saturday to, place him in a holding cell. The prisoner broke free and beat him unconscious, and he later died. They unplugged him after they, harvested his organs. Just horrible, horrible stuff. And, so they did a vigil for him outside the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office in Avondale. And towards the end of it, there was a bunch of gunshots concerning, everybody. It wasn't aimed at them, it looks like. And it looks like it was gunshots that they're still investigating, like
where it came from.
But that's enough to cause concern. This is in Arizona. That shouldn't happen. They better go find these guys.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's not good. See, and somebody wrote on Facebook that you should keep an eye on me for fall asleep. I've been yawning a lot this morning.
Oh, you're.
I don't know why.
Well, you trained pretty hard last night at
maybe that's
at kickboxing, man. You were going all in.
I don't feel tired, but I must. I'm lacking oxygen. I'll be right back. AM 560.
Saturday, October 23rd, Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is back at Cocopah Casino. It's Yuma's favorite charity event, featuring Gary Allen, with special guests Coffey Anderson, Bobby McClendon, Tanner Gomes, and more. Tickets are available at CocopahResort.com and Boot Barn. Bridget's Gift Western Dance and Barbecue is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Lamar Advertising and the YRMC Cancer Center.
Remember when you were a kid on Christmas opening that toy? That's how I feel when I open my York heat pumps, traditional or two-stage. And they are so pretty on your roof with easy financing on approved credit and Yuma's best warranties. York heat pumps, so hot you'll want to service your own AC this summer. Visit me on acyuma.com or call us at 329-7384.
Give Air Central a call or just log on to acyuma.com. We'll tear up this town. Now I gotta cut loose, put loose, kick
AM 560 KPLU. Russ Clark back with you. It's 8:54. Johnny is with me. You know, you mentioned before we left kickboxing, whatever. Now look, I'm going to say it on air occasionally, and we're going to talk to Taekwondo just briefly on Thursday again. But I decided around my birthday that I'm just fat and lazy. Partly COVID, partly stupidity. Whatever it is, we all get into that. And I said, well, what can I at 64 do, to get back into some shape that I'm proud of other than round? So Dave being right down the street, and you recently joined Dave with the kickboxing crew and doing 3 days a week of heavy workout, 3 days a week. And I said, sign me up, and I didn't know, Johnny. I didn't know.
You didn't know what you're getting into?
Well, no, I didn't know if I could survive it with a smile. But now after 3 weeks, I'm like, yeah, I can.
Yes, you can.
So I've committed to make this a pathway to health. But as part of that, I'm going to have on the radio some health advisors. I know Edward called me and suggested an orthopedic surgeon, some nutritionalists and stuff, and you had mentioned one also to come on, which we're gonna have more of that come on. And at 64, can you really get back into some physical shape? That
yes,
maybe
you can. Yes,
whatever. We'll find out. I don't know that I'll ever do any fights, at all, unless I find another 64-year-old. But I'm not seeing a lot of that.
What do you mean? In the class?
In the class.
I'm trying to get him out.
I'm like the oldest guy in the class.
You are, but
by a lot.
You it doesn't matter age. Get in, get physical, get healthy. I had my first fight. I'm 41. I had my first fight this Saturday.
Yeah.
Past Saturday. And
you did well.
Thank you. And I'm like, part of me was like, I'm too old. I haven't been training. A lot of the people that are fighting at that age have been people that have been fighting since they were 19.
But you're not going to fight professionally.
No, but I'm going to continue to fight as long as I can.
Yeah.
Could get it. I felt great. I felt great in the ring or in the cage. It was a cage. I felt great in there. Yeah. I felt great afterwards.
Well, it was 3 minutes, and you had somebody equally matched. So, I mean, you didn't have a guy that's been doing it 20 years. That's going to pick you to pieces.
No, not yet. But we move up. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. But my whole thing is to get in shape, lose some weight, become healthier, physically get into control of myself. And
you're going to do it. You're going to do it.
I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be saying it because I don't want to say. I don't want to have somebody come back later. And we all go through this in our lives. There's a time when I've gotten very physical, gotten very much in shape, and then at times I let it all go. And
we all do that.
And it's been a shame. I wouldn't have to struggle so hard to get it back, Johnny.
Yeah.
If I'd
stayed consistent with it.
Yeah. Not let that happen. I mentioned this briefly, but 2 Georgia workers were fired for being accused shredding voting applications because they're getting ready for a vote that's coming up. But now the way they've got caught, you know how they got caught?
How'd they get caught?
Fellow employees turned them in. Now they're heroes.
Thank God.
We need more of that. That's something OG mentioned, we need to be hanging around those places to watch for these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So they got turned in and, it's just too important to let these things go. So fired is not enough. There's an investigation coming now, and the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, a call for U.S. Department of Justice investigation. Good. And there needs to be charges filed against these guys. It's going to be enough to make people take notice and say, I don't want to get caught up in that.
Well, here's the thing. Who told them to shred the documents is what really needs to be uncovered.
See if it is a conspiracy. If it is a conspiracy, those are additional charges. Don't know anything yet except they got caught. The COVID-19, the World Health Organization wants access to the bat caves there in China to verify and to seek out possible locations that it came from and all that. China says nope. Not going in my bat caves.
Yeah.
They have blocked and shielded from day one. Can't go into the Wuhan lab. Can't go in the bat caves. They just know for a fact it didn't come from us. Go look somewhere else.
Well, it came from a lab, right? So
yeah, it did. Well, and that's just from the structure of the virus.
The structure of it, the people, the medical professionals that looked at it.
Said it is.
Yeah, if you read all the literature, it's from a lab.
It is, even though a lot of people that know better get on TV and lie to us and say, it wasn't the lab. Well, they know it. They know that it was. Even Fauci knew that it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at first he says, no, there's no way. And then he kind of goes, well, maybe.
Yeah, the fact that you read it and it's spliced with like an HIV something molecule. I'm not a scientist, but the fact that that's in there, it's like
it's some kind of spike that they put in. It's usually a lab and thing to make medicines work better or whatever. But
and that the fact that a lot of these things are patented. There's a patent on a lot of these things that are in the actual virus. So it's like, yeah, well,
that's right. Yeah, it's just too bad. Hey, I'm out of time.
Oh,
we'll be back. You'll be back Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow. AM 560 KBLU.
From the 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating Studio, this is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.